there we go, we're live now. Don't say horrible things!
Don't say the N-word. Hello everybody. I don't know what happened. It was really weird, like it would,
F-words. All the F-words are screwing with us.
YouTube just would not, like, work for some reason.
F-words and small hats.
Yeah.
Well, they're often the same thing.
That is the kind of theme of today regarding things that are happening in the world that I'm not prepared enough to talk about yet. Also, I just want to give a little bit of a anti-shout out to how dare you, Adam and Sitch, be streaming with chunk yogurt. We specifically chose today because this is not when they stream. And yet they have the audacity to, without our knowledge.
Aiden wanted to snipe stream them because
I
kind of want to as well. I kind of want to watch it just to see.
Okay, it's what we were watching it right before we started.
What stuff
it's
Cenk is gonna say? Dude, Cenk is so full of shit. You can see Adam's face is like, holy fuck.
Yeah, Adam's face is
when Adam's face is like full of glee. Then like
just pure mirth, right? That's the way to describe it. Pure mirth. At the things that chunk yogurt is
Cenk lives in a fucking fantasy land. I mean, my good god, it's insane.
So exactly, Adam Unfriended, who's been a member for 9 months, says, "Love you guys, but I'm gonna go watch Adam and Such's stream." Which is
I don't blame you.
Sorry, not sorry. I don't blame you either. Like I said,
actually, Cenk actually did go on.
Be streaming with freaking goddamn Cenk tonight. How could I have ever predicted that? However,
there's a part
we're
of me
gonna
that wants
watch
to watch
cringe, as I do too, but I don't want to totally stream snipe them. I don't.
Yes, you do.
Also, we did announce that we were going to be streaming today on Wednesday.
Yes.
So we have announced this. We have announced this. It's not impromptu. I did finish my script today largely, with the exception of the actual final part, which is the research that I'm conducting. I'm gonna have to
He's even more grounded than Hassan. That's not saying much. It's like fucking Dumb and Dumber with those fucking two.
Yeah, it's like saying he's more grounded than Hassan is not high praise for Chunk. He is more grounded than Hassan. That's correct.
That's not saying much, though.
But he's still a lunatic. And also here's that's why I don't blame him. But if you want to go watch that instead, because when Chunk flies off the handle, he flies off the damn handle hard.
Yeah.
Real hard.
You know what you shouldn't do? Announce a more interesting stream on your stream.
I know.
That's a stupid thing to do.
A different stream that I was on last night with Lev Polyakov on his show Break the Rules with Dylan Burns, where we talked about Ukraine, and I thought it was a very productive conversation. People were like, "Aiden, you got so emotional. Are you okay?" And I only got emotional at the very end because Dylan was talking about the real shit. He saw children being murdered and stuff. I'm sorry. I think if you don't get emotional, that kind of stuff, there might be
psychopathic.
Might be a little bit something wrong with you if you hear about children being murdered and don't get a little bit emotional. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I'm sorry. When I hear about children being and being murdered and women being made widows and
I actually had
losing life and limb, it does affect me.
I actually had a conversation with Lev
emotionally. Lev's a great guy.
No, he wanted me on his show.
You should go on. He has Molbug on all the time.
Yes, I know. I would actually like to be on a show with Molbug, if only just to listen to him talk. I don't think I have much to say.
Legit too afraid.
Why?
I've emailed Molbug. I've emailed Molbug. I've asked Lev about it, but it's because I'm too nervous about talking to Molbug. Yeah, it's not fangirly.
It's totally fangirl. Fuck out of here.
It's not fangirly.
Yes, it is.
Is it a fangirl moment?
It's totally guys, can you tell him?
It's
totally a fangirl thing.
No.
It is.
Iraqi oil money, Super 5 says, can we talk about funny hats and goat lovers ending each other? Yeah, I mean, we weren't really set up to talk about that today, but obviously there's a big happenings in Israel. Hamas just rocked into Tel Aviv, essentially. That's what happened. We'll talk about it more on Wednesday when I'm able to have a better idea of the situation. Cyberbully asks, I'd like you and HB to comment on the JF murder mystery. Also, as to that, I do not have enough information about it. I did speak to JF privately. I have no idea what's going on with the JF murder mystery, but
okay, I have to address this crap because Jay, I didn't fangirl when Stick was in my comment section. I just went how the hell did you find this video? Because it's not a particularly big channel, and I just like, oh shit, Styx actually watched this video.
Yeah.
It's basically because one of the things I like about Styx is he's very principled in his worldview, but I also consider that a detriment in the same way that any libertarian is. Like, yes, I agree with these things in principle, but the problem of it is you can't live in the Shire when orcs are coming to attack you.
Yes, exactly.
It's just not realistic, you know?
Sure. Aiden Men do not get emotional, just post Ryan Gosling edits. I know. I mean, I know that's true, but like, this is why I don't. First of all, I don't do debates because I don't believe in the efficacy of debates. I've made a whole video about it. You can watch it; it's like 2 hours long.
I agree
about why
with
debates
that.
are stupid. However, the other reason I can, if I'm going to talk to somebody, I consider it a discussion, not a debate. And what I think that I did with Dylan Burns on Break the Rules was a discussion.
I'm gonna start kicking the chat. It's just for the shits and giggles.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't kick anyone in the chat. I'm just saying, like, in my opinion, if you want to see someone debate,
don't badger me. I will kick you, bastards.
If you want to see somebody debate, I am not the person to go to.
No,
I'm never going to. I'm not good at it. I don't like doing it. Okay.
Aiden's a bitch.
Don't be rude.
Aiden is a typical woman, and she wants everyone to hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Yes, I want everyone to hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Yeah, which is just absurdly ridiculous.
But I do think I made a little bit of headway in terms of, because a lot of the presumptions from Dylan's audience is that, oh, you're a libertarian and you don't think the U.S. should be involved in Ukraine.
Yes.
Or you're such a heartless piece of shit. I'm like, well, I do think that, but I'm not a heartless piece of shit.
You know what you can just say? You could just say
America. Did you hear Bill scream up the stairs? I am.
I fucking heard that as well.
I know you do, Bill.
Okay, but here's the thing to keep in mind.
I think it was a productive conversation, though. I think it was a good time.
When someone say, "What you think U.S. should be involved in Ukraine?" you can just say, "Yeah, they've been involved in fucking ages. That's why Russia attacked." That
was my point. That was my point.
Oh, well done then.
That was my point. Well, of course, that was my fucking point. That was my entire point behind it. It doesn't mean that I don't feel empathy and sympathy for the suffering of the Ukrainian people who didn't ask for any of this shit, because they didn't. The average person not ask for any of this, and so yes, it does make me upset. It does make me sad when I hear about children being murdered. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think if you get to the place in your life where that kind of stuff doesn't make you upset, I think you gotta like recheck your soul meter. And, you know, like. Just similarly, it was an old video that was posted that's been making the rounds on Twitter of the Pope talking to Pope Francis talking to a child, and Pope Francis says to the child's father has passed away, and Pope Francis says to him essentially, like, he doesn't say that his father's in heaven, nor does he say he's in hell. He says that your father was a good man. He baptized his children, his own belief. That's a different thing. And the child, you know, he's like in tears because his father's dead, you know. And I think it's a very sweet and lovely video. And some people, I've seen some Catholics commenting on it, calling the Pope a blasphemer. And I do, by the way, think that Pope Francis is a blasphemer, but not for that. Not for that. Can you please just why do you have to tell it? Why do you want him to tell a child? This child looks like he's about 6 or 7. Why do you want him to tell a child that his father's in hell?
Yeah, Derek Kulis is right, by the way.
Could you just not, please?
The debates off with emotionally invested. And also launched in
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because
the
thing is with debates, and I've said this before like a few times now, people don't learn with information. The same reason they don't watch debates. They learn with circumstance and being forced to. You know, it's very, very rare that anyone will open their mind to new information when it doesn't require them to, because it takes effort, and most people don't want to make the effort. It's only when you are invested in something and it stops making sense, then do you go, fuck off, Horwitz.
Horwitz Feinberg and Horwitz for 20 says, well, thank you, by the way, says, puts the kick me sign on his back. Go ahead, Spoon, I dare ya.
If every sign you want to put me on my back requires $20, then you can put as many on my back as you fucking want, man. As long as you fucking pay me for it.
Well, anywho, so just my opinion on the emotional stuff is that I think that I think I had a good conversation with Dylan. I cannot overemphasize how much I respect what Dylan's done. Whatever you think about his personal politics, the fact that he actually went to Ukraine, he's been in Ukraine, he is in Ukraine right now, covering this stuff, is incredibly admirable. I think.
I blame the Americans.
He put his money where his mouth is. He put his life where his mouth is. He wasn't just willing to sit around, and I told him this on the
chat. Don't write naughty words.
didn't just like sit around on the internet and be like, oh, here's how I feel about the Ukraine conflict. No, he fucking went there. He's been there for a year now, I think. That takes balls. That takes mad balls. And whatever you think about his politics, whatever you think about his position on Ukraine or Russia, I think that that's admirable. You know what I think is not admirable, Spoon? This video we're about to watch.
But like, the thing with the Ukraine thing, with Ukraine and Russia.
Go ahead.
I'm with Dank, who went, the Russians winning would be cool. Because his perspective is a bit of a knock to American hegemony, which I'm also in favor of. And Mulberg also said the same thing, because it would damage the American security apparatus, which is ultimately what we're in favor of. But it's because once the Russian wall fell, or the German wall, sorry, and then the Soviet Union dissolved, when America expanded NATO the first time, George Kennan, who designed the containment program, said, what the fuck are you doing? Russia's going to respond with military aggression, because so are you. And then they did it again, and then it again, and then they're right up to fucking Russia's doorstep, because now they're funneling fucking US weaponry into Ukraine, as well as overthrowing their government. They're standing on Russia's fucking doorstep, shouting, we're gonna fucking get you. And then Russia kicks them off, and then they go, oh my god, who this is unprovoked. Like, seriously? No, it isn't. Yeah. Like, your own fucking statesman said to you 30 years ago, this is gonna be the result. And you fucking did it anyway.
Exactly. King Salmon Fish says, I made the strongest possible points in the chat anyway. Debate doesn't convince your opponent. Absolutely. I have a whole video on that. Yeah. It's like 2 hours long, but it's on my channel.
Yeah, it is
it's
entertainment.
It's for Swain audience members. Yes, and you're right. It is for entertainment. Yes. Eden played it well given my presence.
And for money.
I don't know if I made friends, but I wasn't there to like attack Dylan Burns.
Much?
I was there to try and I didn't attack him, I don't think. This is why I don't do well in debates, because I don't treat them as debates. I treat them as discussions. It's why I've never been able. We've had Destiny here on the show, and we've had Destiny over here on this channel. But Destiny treats everything as a debate, as a kind of win or lose scenario, and that's not the way that I look at his approach. But that's not the way I look at things.
Yes.
Personally, that's okay. I think that those are both fine approaches, but it's a masculine versus feminine energy, right? I have a feminine approach to things, which is that let's try to figure out where can we both agree? Gay, in other words.
Yeah, fucking
speaking
democracy.
of gay, can I show you some stuff? Yeah, before we start this, I want to show you something. And I want to show you my response to it. I want to show you, I was just,
We'll have to see your screen
now.
Okay.
I'm going to have to show my screen. Yeah, hang on 1 second. I have to go find it first. I didn't mean to do this, but I didn't.
Yay.
No, I do. I do mean to do this. Because I want to show you this fucking shit. And I want to show you the response, because I'm on an MI6 list, and now you're going to be too, and so is everyone else in the chat.
I'm on an MI6 list?
Go. Yeah, now you are. Wait,
no, I'm not.
Now you are.
No, I'm not.
After I show you what I'm going to show you.
No, I won't.
So look at this shit. Look at this.
Hold on a second.
Tell me you got it up. Because this is absolute. I can't believe this is real. I mean, I can believe it's real.
Oh yeah, Sargon showed this.
Fucking nightmare reality. Yeah, Sargon shared this yesterday. Look at this video.
How are we going to MI6 this?
This is the British Army in Manchester.
Well, you're not showing the video.
Am I not?
No.
I'm showing my screen, aren't I?
It's halfway down the fucking screen. Scroll up.
Oh! I've got the wrong page up. My bad.
Yeah, that'll be the reason why.
That would be why. Yep. Change windows. It's this one. I think.
No, still not showing the right thing.
I know. Give me a moment. Don't be rude. And there we go. Here it is. Okay, got it. Sorry, I'm stupid. Here we go. Woman. Look at this. What a fucking shame.
You do realize this is why so many people will try and kill England, because it just shows fucking weakness.
Well, here's my response. Am I allowed to play this?
Probably not.
I'm allowed to play this. A little bit of it. Let's go. You ready? Ready? You know the song. Let's all sing together.
I drove my Saracen through your garden last night. Sing up the rhyme. I kicked your front door down around it. midnight.
Sing up the
Oh,
rock.
something's
Bill's
telling
gonna tell me
me,
not to play
boy,
this.
you're avoiding me. And when I find you, you will go for your tea. Oh, I've got a brand new shiny helmet and a pair of kinky boots. I've got a lovely new flak jacket and a lovely khaki suit. And when we go on night patrol, we hold each other's hands. We are the British Army and we're here to take your land.
There you go. That's the main chorus of the song. That's what I posted. And when we go on night patrol, we hold each other's hands. Tell me it's not correct. Tell me it's not apropos, dude. For this,
What
look
the
at
fuck
this.
is that thing?
Look at this. Jesus Christ.
You do realize this kind of display of patheticness, just from a male perspective, is
Oh my
going to
God.
invite an ass kicking. Because, like, even I am
Oh my
looking at this
God.
and going, I want to invade you because you're weak. Like, just from a purely... like, I said this in a previous video with...
Transchester.
Fucking, that's really good. But, like, I look at this and go,
Thank
I
you,
must
Philip
conquer you
Daniel.
because you're pissy and weak.
Yeah.
Like, why would I put up with this shit?
It's just, I can't believe it. So an Irish independence song about the British Army being a bunch of homosexuals comes true.
Yeah.
I mean, how are they wrong? Like, tell me how they're wrong. They're not. They're correct.
We're here to take
Let
your
us.
land.
Speaking of homosexuals, shall we watch Armored Grog's video about Christopher Columbus?
This man does not know history. He
At
does
all.
not understand conflict. He does not understand human nature, conquest, conquer, or virtually anything
No,
about anything about
nothing,
history.
Nothing. And
He's
I
a
said on Twitter, like,
clueless
no
president.
no hate towards Greg,
Must.
but he has the most extreme case of presentism I think I've ever seen.
And he also
I
doesn't
truly
understand
mean
human
that.
nature.
But just to explain to those of you in the chat who are unaware, presentism is the tendency of people to perceive the past through the lens of the present.
Which is
To say, like,
insane.
well, people were racist in the past, and judge those people in the past from your modern standpoint, which is absurdist, ridiculous, and patently stupid. There's no other way to describe it. It is patently stupid.
Can
There's no
I,
other way to describe it. Sorry.
can I present a seriously based opinion?
Yes, please do.
If you were to look at how the present is with certain demographics and their
No, he
actions,
never talks about that.
yeah, and warnings about them for over 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
Do you
Wait,
think
make
if-
hard. Have we
Do you
talked
think
about
if
the JF thing? We did briefly.
do you think if you took those horrible racists from the past and you showed them what they think and you showed them the present day society, do you think the old racists might have had a fucking point?
Probably not. I mean, they had a point, but I mean, like, is the current point of what sorry, I was anticipating what you were going to ask and already gave my answer before you said it. Dear Fiddy for 10 says, got engaged my British girlfriend at a Final Fantasy convention in London a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations. Can't wait to get her out of that hellhole and bring her to America.
That's from one hellhole to another.
Yeah, it's one hellhole to another. You know, I was talking to Spoon, and I told Bill this earlier as well. We were watching. I was finishing up my script for my new video, and Bill's, Bill is helping me find clips or whatever to relate to the video, because Bill writes the jokes. And he said to watch. We were looking for a Russell Howard. Is that his name? Russell,
Yes.
Not Russell.
Yes, Russell Howard.
Russell Howard clip.
Yeah.
And I realized while watching it, I was like, oh my God, I've lived here for so long that does not sound, that I don't like, because when I lived in America and I heard, if I would hear like a British comedian or watch a British TV show, I'd be like, oh, that's a Brit. But now my brain's like, that's normal speech after 4 years. And now I find American accents, they pick up to me more when I listen. I pick up more like, oh, that's an American. It goes the other way around. What the fuck happened there?
Yes.
That's weird.
And also,
It's
Kyle was
very-
right.
Probably.
Have you read his speech, by the way?
No, definitely. Yes.
Yeah. I don't find it particularly contentious.
You're gonna get called a fascist for saying that.
Yes.
I know you don't.
And I don't
Still,
care.
You're gonna get called a fascist for saying that.
I'm
so
gonna say something weird.
Mhm.
I actually like being called a fascist and a racist and sexist and all this stuff, and I'll tell you why. Because if that's your first go-to argument when listening to anything I have to say,
That's all you've got.
it means you're a stupid idiot, and there's nothing useful in listening to you.
And again,
Like, I can just dismiss you as an imbecile.
I think part of the thing that made me so happy.
I wanted to
or
say
happy,
idiot,
whatever,
Neanderthal, and imbecile in one word.
Pleased with the discussion I had with Dylan Burns last night was that like he never called me a fascist or a Nazi or anything like that. He was very, very polite. He was completely reasonable, and to me, that's like when you have debates, quote unquote, with people, that is so unusual. So if I lost
He's
the
not
debate,
Walsh.
quote unquote, yeah, but so if I lost the debate, I'm fine with that. People saying that I wasn't trying. I was trying to win. I was trying to understand other people's perspectives, and nobody knows probably more about Ukraine from a first-hand perspective than Dylan Burns in the West. So I think that was a really, really good comment. Really glad I had it. And I'm sorry if you guys thought I didn't push hard enough against some of his points. I didn't. Probably. I don't like to do
Someone
that.
called you a crumpet monkey.
Oh yeah, crumpet monkey for yes. I am a bit of a.
I like that phrase.
Can
It's
we
pretty
all
good.
agree though that crumpets are fucking delicious? Here's another point that I want to bring up about this real quick before we get into this long as fuck Armored Skeptic video, which is why we started early and we're already 30 minutes in and have not gotten to it yet. I don't
Yeah,
understand
that too.
the hatred for British food. I don't get it.
I don't think England's food is that bad, actually.
I don't either, and I don't understand why like there's this idea that that British food is so fucking terrible. What is it? Like what is the average British food? Fish and chips.
Fish and chips in England is the shit. What the fuck?
Again, it's delicious. So I mean, like, it's simple, so therefore it's bad. Fuck off.
Simple
What's a
is
crumpet?
good.
It's in America. It's called an English muffin. If you've had an English muffin, that's what it's called. It's really, really good. It's just an absorption place for butter, or jam, or whatever you want to put on it. Now,
Or
the one thing I've
marmalade.
talked about, whatever you want.
Yeah, TK is great.
Beans on toast, terrible. Wrong. Incorrect, Boomsday. Incorrect. Beans on toast, good. But, I mean, like, what's... The things that I've never understood...
He's making fun of Americans.
Oh, okay.
He says beans on
Sloppy
toast,
Joe fine.
terrible,
Oh,
sloppy
oh.
Joe fine. Yeah,
Yes.
it's American
Right,
He's making fun of them.
right. Yes. Yes, sorry, Boomsday. I just...
Yeah, read the second half. There you go.
What I don't understand why we don't have in America. I've talked about this before. I don't know why we don't have black pudding. I don't know why we don't have Yorkshire puddings.
I don't understand
What?
why you don't have biltong.
Ramo, Grey Wolf, those are crumpets. Yes, an English muffin is a crumpet, and it's the same thing.
By the way, did
But-
you see Sticks teamed up with like some guy to sell? You sell in like a freaking biltong website in
Biltong?
yeah, he did. There's like I think it's like a Texan guy.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he did like a biltong shop, and then he sent Sticks like a shitload of it, like so many packets. I'm like, I'm fucking jealous watching this shit because I'm a South African, and I was like, and Sticks just went, I don't usually eat on camera, so I'm kind of taking one for the team. And
Look how skinny Sticks is.
and then when he ate it,
Oh.
he just went like, this is better than any beef jerky I've ever had. Like, yeah, you fucking
Nice,
do. Like,
nice.
yeah, like fucking South African biltong kick the shit American jerky all fucking day long. Eat a dick.
The-
We are the meat kings.
the-
Fuck up.
The English invented Stargazy pie. That's that pie that has the fish head sticking out of it, by the way.
That's steak and kidney
That
pie,
will end
too.
up to disqualify any opinion on knowing food. Don't judge on the worst. That's what I know. I get it. It's easy to judge on the worst, but you should judge on the best. And the thing that I again am astonished that Americans never adopted. Were
Oh wait, Horwitz,
blood-
have
or
you had it on stuff?
Black pudding and Yorkshire puddings are like, what the fuck? It's so like it seems like something that Americans would like so much. A Yorkshire pudding is just a gravy delivery system. It's great. Yeah, the mad cow disease scare of the 90s made people weird about.
Are
That was
you
not
actually
about
in
Yorkshire
Chile?
puddings, though. Bill, that was about bog
Because
roll.
you can get biltong depending on you get it in Europe. You just need to know
Yeah.
where to look.
Yeah, have you seen the English breakfast? The English breakfast. Excuse me. Let's have a poll. Let's get a little bit of a race war going. What's best?
Okay. Those words are fighting words, but okay, go on.
Hang on, I'm gonna play a video before we play Armored Skeptics, Grog's video. It's American breakfast, and that's gonna be so. You all know what American breakfast is.
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so that's pancakes, bacon, and eggs, and maybe sausage, right?
Okay.
Maybe grits, depending on where you're at. But people know what I mean by American breakfast. It is oh god, if you include biscuits and gravy, that's not fair. Including biscuits and gravy is not fair, but English breakfast. Because I really don't know. I think English breakfast is better than American breakfast. I gotta be honest. I have to be honest. A Dear Taste King for 5 says we don't have haggis in America and we're poor for it. I agree. Love it, and we can't import it either. No, you can't import that stuff. No, you can't. You can't do that. I'm gonna. So, speaking of the race war starting now, I was watching this video earlier while Bill and I were going through my
American breakfast. It said it looks like bacon, sausage, eggs, pancakes,
bacon,
like
sausage, eggs, absolutely pancakes. Yeah, pancakes, 100%. I'm gonna play this real quick while we're. You got the thingy up? I'm just gonna play this real quickly while we wait for that poll to come in. Here we go.
Okay, that's what it was. Remember I said that Albeds are kind of looked down upon?
Yeah.
I don't think they actually are the spirit as a whole.
Don't tell Walker. I gotta tell Walker.
I gotta tell Walker.
I gotta tell Walker. Wow.
Can't wait.
Wait,
tell
Sarah, you'll like this.
Full of secrets.
It's Waka.
Must tell.
Waka, that's
give it. Let it cook. Let it cook.
Jesus.
Let it cook, Spoon. You will like this video. I guarantee it. It's a fucking mess of a stream.
Walker, you realize that all that dank ass kush you enjoy comes from the Albed people, right?
Oh no! Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so, brother. That can't be it.
This is old Super Best Friends. I know.
Cures poison, silence, petrification, and gives 1000 HP to everybody.
You got something to say about that, Walker?
No, man.
Wait. Wait, it says you have in weekly. What would how to spot an Albed? Play it. Stop. Are you pausing? Stop.
No, you're holding me.
No, man. That's
Why's he
just
doing
a
it?
parlor trick.
Weird.
Yeah, Yevon can do it better.
You can do it better. You ever do it all night.
Now stop distracting me. Front towards enemy.
It's literally... Literally, it's a fucking item that has the words Albed in it, and it's super good.
There are
It
a
has
race of people in this
absolutely
game.
no flaws
Albeds, by the way.
whatsoever.
I don't know nothing about that, brother. I'm just confused. I'm feeling really weird right now.
In a weird space. Weird headspace.
Sins are punishment for letting things get out of hand, eh?
But there's good.
He just pointed to his dick.
And besides, those dirty
By the way, do you
Albeds, they
recognize-
use all the machina
You
they
never played Final Fantasy X, I assume.
No.
Spoon. You've never played this game. Does the voice of the guy who's like Jamaican sound familiar to you?
No.
That's Bender.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. For real. I am 100% for real. That's Bender. Yep.
Why?
It's not like they're bad. It's because of people like the Albed screwing everything up.
Literally.
That's Bender.
Literally.
They're going
What the fuck are we watching? I'm trying a little meme before we get started, guys. Here we go. Here's this part.
Oh no!
So,
the race war starts now!
It's my favorite part.
They're trouble.
Yeah,
I can
John
smell
DiMaggio.
it
Yep.
right now.
I can smell one. I can smell half of one.
I don't know where it is.
But once I find out where it
She's
is,
half
I
Albed.
kill it. I never told you how racist I am.
You thought I was a chill guy that just smoked all day and was like, hey, I'm chill with everything. Blitzball.
No, filthy racist.
Alright, so I know. Blitzball, right?
I love
But
Grand
also
Wizard Waka.
Apartheid, eh? No?
But,
Maybe? Final solution? No?
Soon.
Okay. But what do I know? I just played a sports, man. Hey, brother. All lives matter. That's all I'm trying to say.
The top
I love
tier.
this.
Might be the last time
Slackers
we
on
mess like
Twitter
this.
just going, look, bro, I'm not saying, like, I get it,
Might be the last.
but I think we should just be open-minded and consider that, hey, you know, all lives matter.
No, all I'm saying is that maybe we should take our blitz balls and go into those Albed ghettos and just clean them
Clean them
bro.
out, you know, just clean them
I have
out.
kids that I want to have someday. I want a happy future for them.
I have kids I want to have someday. Oh my god, so good. Let's go, best battle music.
Remember, kids, never try.
But how many of those dead were Albeds, though, eh?
I bet not enough.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, Albeds, Aldens, you know why they call them Albeds, right? Because I hear they spend all day in bed. They don't go to work. I'm just saying.
What do you think about that, Spoon? Do you
Any
like that?
context?
Don't worry. You don't need context. It's a little
Yeah, I
fucking
kind of
spider on
do,
the wall.
because right now I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Don't worry about it. You're fine. Speaking of what the fuck am I watching, here we go.
Hey boss, I pulled one out of the archives for you.
The best TV show
I want to start out the video by explaining that this video that Armored Skeptic is about to respond to is 6 years old.
Yep.
He uploaded this video 6 days ago.
And it's
The
unlisted.
video, and it's unlisted. Yes, so he had to dig this up out of the dirt to find this video. That was horrible. I'm sorry for torturing you, chat. Sorry.
shows and movies are
Yeah,
the ones
see,
where characters
this is something that Aiden doesn't seem to understand. She and I do not have the same sense of humor
No
at
shit.
fucking all. Like, not
It's a
even
good
a
thing Aiden
little
can
bit.
entertain herself so easily. Yeah, I can entertain myself very easily.
Yes, because the
I'm
shit that
extremely
Aiden, like,
easily
Aiden
amused.
just sends me shit and like, you don't find this funny? I'm like, not even breaking any reaction. Like, no, not even a
know.
little bit.
But
Like, the
here's
shit that
question.
Aiden finds
What-
funny,
what-
I don't fucking understand
Yeah,
at all.
okay. That's fine. I have a weird sense of humor.
Yes.
But why the what
What do I laugh at?
inspired Grog to pull up this 6-year-old unlisted video in order to respond to it about Columbus Day? Friends, that's what we're about to talk about is Columbus Day. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, Grog? Why are you doing this? I
think
don't
The first
get
video
it.
is done in like 8 months.
No. He actually puts up videos very frequently.
You
Just that this
sure?
video is the first one that, yes, I checked.
Okay.
He actually puts up videos pretty regularly. They just don't do very well. I mean,
I wonder why.
who am I to talk? My shit doesn't do well either. But
He's got 500,000 subs. He's one should do better.
yeah, his videos should do better than mine, and they
Yes.
get lower views than I do, and that is probably kind of fucked. Because I don't think anyone gives a shit about what he has to say. But yeah, he uploads about once a month. He has a pretty regular upload schedule. I think the new avatar and animation is new to this video. But
Okay.
what possessed you, Greg, to pull out this unlisted 6-year-old video from this other guy to shit on? And shit on so poorly. So poorly. You made yourself an embarrassment in this. But let's watch and understand. We're only 10 seconds in.
are faced with moral quandaries that explore the gray area between good and evil. People like to imagine what they would do in those situations and can easily see themselves on either side.
Yeah, people's day-to-day choices can be hard to morally quantify. Life is messy, and the world is broken. So often, we're not even given a clear choice between right and wrong.
Why is the world broken? Whose policies have made the world? Just a question.
We just have to do what we have to do to survive and get ahead in this ill society.
No boss. That's not what he's talking about.
In real life, though, we fit people into black and white categories. A decision is either right or wrong, and someone is either good or evil. We often want to categorize people so much that we'll create a fictionalized version of that person in order to shove them into one of those
That's
two boxes.
true. This is actually not only true, it's true, and we can find evidence for it in academic scientific data. People make up the idea in their head of what another person is and what they believe, and they criticize that facsimile that they've made up in their head rather than the actual person. This guy is completely correct on that
No,
point.
people don't do that.
You
I've
make
never been called a fascist ever.
I know, right? People make up a fucking facsimile in their head of what they think somebody is, and they judge based on that, not based on the actual content of that person's character. Which is why, by the way,
Yeah, it's bollocks.
when I do debates, quote unquote, I try to actually listen, and I don't want to debate. I want to listen and understand. Personally,
Sometimes you don't listen.
Call me a bitch if you want. It's fine. Call me a big baby bitch. It's fine. I don't care.
Sometimes you don't
But-
listen.
Bill just yells bitch up the stairs.
I've noticed when it comes to opinions,
I-
you don't listen.
I am trying to honestly understand.
I'm going to make fun of you about that in a video, by the way.
And I do not think that Grog is trying to honestly understand this guy here.
No, he's
I
trying to
forget-
own him.
Do you remember what his name is? Do you remember what his
Don't know.
I think he's gonna name it here. I'm sorry, I forget this guy's channel. But again, digging
We
up
might
this
know more if
ancient-ass
we let him
video.
actually talk.
Let's go.
Columbus is one of those people.
What? Who's looking back at the era of aggressive colonialism and saying, yeah, I could see myself on either side of that issue?
You probably have one of two views of Columbus. You might think that
I would
he
say
was a
me,
brave explorer.
Yeah.
me, because I can look at it and go, hey, look, if there are tribes kicking the shit out of each other, they're at war with each other, and they might side with a
Well,
foreigner
they-
because they would be less of a threat than the
Yes.
one who's actually trying to kick them living on their own
As-
fucking land.
As by the way, Native American tribes did for the entirety of their history.
Fucking hell, man. Come on.
This is why I called this video the most extreme representation of
stupid.
presentism I've ever seen. It's that there's a line from I love these comedy albums from Firesign Theater, and there's a line from Waiting for the Electrician or someone like him, and he's like, "Hey man, one day we're all gonna be out here living like Indians and dressing like Indians and doing all the peaceful, beautiful things you Indians do. Hey, got any peyote?" That's it. It's this weird fucking hippie shit where it's like, I just want to like sit out on the res and smoke peyote. That's not reality. That is not the reality that has ever been the case for Native
No.
American tribes before the introduction of the white man. Silly. You're being very silly.
Also,
Or
I
prove
would
the
I would
world
like
was
to ask these
founded by-
people, like, how do you think leftists operate? Have you seen the coalition that makes up the left? It is a mishmash of fucking people.
Dysgenics?
Yeah, if there wasn't a bigger target in the room, they would eat each other alive.
Yeah. Yep.
Like this is one of the reasons I made fun of Owen Jones. I couldn't say this in the video because I wanted to say the hard F word. But how in the hell do you have Owen Jones, who is a homosexual, and he's advocating for more Muslims in Britain? Like, dude,
Of course he is.
how? Like, do you not see how freaking hilarious that is?
They argue at their own
It's
peril.
stupid as shit.
Spoon, they argue. It is a death cult. You
Yes.
figured that out yet?
Yes,
It's
no,
a
I figured that
fucking death
ages
cult.
ago.
I know you
I actually want to say
but-
this in a video. Leftism is insane. And I mean that in quite a literal sense, because if you look at what the left believes now, there is nothing they believe that is in any way connected to reality, which makes me draw a conclusion. To be on the left,
Do you eat peyote, not smoke it? I've never done it.
to be on the left
Go
in
ahead.
any capacity means you have to believe at least one lie. Because everything they believe in is a fucking lie. Which means the more left you are, the more you are likely to be clinically insane. Objectively.
Oh, also, sorry about the fucking ads, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. By the way, American Breakfast has won by 58%. Over English Breakfast, 42% poll. I'm gonna try to. I have to keep on top of it because
What browser are you
I
guys
don't
using?
know. No. It's just YouTube.
No, it's the browser.
And I don't have an option now to turn this off as far as I can tell. Maybe I do, and I'm just too stupid. But I can't figure out how to turn off the fucking constant ads on YouTube. It's so annoying. Soul on the Lich for 20 ARS says, reject peyote, join Kaiser's Legion. Based. I don't know how to turn off the ads. All I can do is from my back end, make your jokes as you will, keep pausing the ads. Back end, pause, again, make the jokes as you will. But like it keeps wanting to put these freaking ads in, and I told it to stop, and it keeps doing it. Guys, I don't like this. I don't want you all to have to sit through these obnoxious ads, even though it makes me money, but
It's
it
still
makes
annoying,
it
yeah.
ruins the stream. So that's fucking lame. I don't like it. So no, it's not worth any money that it makes us. Gay. Anywho, back
get
to
more money with
this.
the donations anyway.
I'll try to keep on top of pausing the ad.
Yeah, just use
Pause.
Brave.
by doing so
what I
discovered the
do.
United States.
Yeah,
And
use Brave.
if that's the case, congratulations on graduating from elementary school.
Oh, no. You don't come onto my internet and condescend me.
Yeah, that's your job.
I condescend you.
There we go. Case the fucking point.
Okay, I
You're
condescend
condescending.
you.
And
Wait, but
but you went to this video that is unlisted and it's from 6 years ago, and you just posted this 6 days ago.
By
What
the
are
way,
you talking about, Greg?
I will do a video on this.
Yeah, this is insane. In my opinion, this is actual insanity. To like get this mad about this video, and we're gonna watch. Like he's gonna say a bunch of totally incorrect things.
Everything he says in this video is
But
wrong.
At the first, that's why we had to start this stream early, guys, because we knew we were gonna have fap it because it's every frame of fucking pause.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Everything he says in this video is wrong. It's a 6-year-old unlisted video. He didn't come to you with this video. You had to dig for this shit, you lunatic.
boss, it gets so much worse than this.
I condescend to you.
Oh my god.
But odds
Then
are
don't
you
watch
probably
it.
think,
Columbus was an incompetent buffoon who never even set foot in America.
Christopher Columbus was actually an idiot and dum-dum.
He got lost coming here, and he's the one that named us Indians because he thought he was in India.
He was a doofus who was terrible at math.
Yes, I'm one of history's greatest monsters.
well, that's quite the contrast.
Are you really going to make me defend Adam ruins everything?
Yeah, he is gonna make you because apparently you're a lunatic. So here's the thing: why do you feel the need to defend Adam ruins everything? The reality is that you are judging things from a presentism kind of perspective. But let's listen to it.
Yeah, that's where we're at now.
I will never forgive you for this.
Let's take a look at the facts and see if we
Then
can't
don't
figure
make
out
the
which
video.
ones have been misunderstood, misattributed, exaggerated, and sometimes straight up fabricated.
Well, this is gonna be a complete mess.
Yes, it is.
Then don't make the video, homie. Not difficult.
Before we get started, this Knowing Better video that I'm responding to
Knowing
has
better.
been on
That's the name of the YouTuber. Knowing better. But let's go ahead.
unlisted and was replaced with a follow-up video that better explains the history of Columbus. It might
Now they're
seem
both unlisted. So what are you doing? And it's from 6 years ago, dingus. What are you doing? Spoon, I can't understand this. I fundamentally can't understand this.
React less and
I-
let's listen to his point more.
Sorry.
petty to reply to a 5-year-old video that's currently
6.
unlisted, but the
yeah.
fact that I could still find this so easily is a huge
Not
problem.
easily. You had to
should
dig
have
for it.
deleted this video a long time ago, and I think that the only reason he hasn't is because he's too proud to give up the over 3 million views that it accumulated. But what's worse is that his follow.
Whoa, it's a lot of assumptions there, buddy.
I was about to say, like, maybe it's because it got 3 million views because it did well, you fucking idiot. Why the hell would I take down a video that's got 3 million views if it did well?
What he
Doesn't make any
unlisted it, though,
sense.
which is the
Fucking
same-
twat.
Fundamentally, that's the same thing as taking the video down if you unlist it. No one can find it on your channel.
Yes.
But if someone
Except
wants
Greg
to
can find it
it
apparently for
But
a
if some-
viewership
yes.
6 fucking years later.
if somebody wants to find it for some reason,
Oh,
if they enjoyed it or whatever, it is still there. It's just not listed. So he's not going to get any more views out of a video if it's unlisted.
Yes.
Not realistically.
I could probably get 20,000 views out of this video.
This is patently absurd.
Doesn't even address the biggest problems with this unlisted video, and at least once he straight up lies.
I want to start this off by saying we should get rid of Columbus Day. We should start celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. That has always been my position.
That's the follow-up video, but in the original video he said,
I personally don't think that we should have a day to celebrate him. But conversely, I also disagree with just renaming it Indigenous Peoples Day.
What's the fucking difference? Nothing fundamentally. He says in both cases to get rid of Columbus Day because he thinks that Columbus is a dickhead. So the Indigenous
okay.
Peoples Day thing also doesn't mean anything.
Also, I can sort of see what he says because he says to rename it would be pointless, but to celebrate People's Day would be a different thing. It could just be semantics, but I can sort of see why he's just saying renaming it but still keeping the original spirit would be fucking pointless. But to actually celebrate the indigenous people would be a different fucking thing entirely. So I don't...
Precisely.
I don't see it as the same
Precisely.
thing.
I think that actually his sentiments in both videos are
Aligned.
more or less identical. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they're not maybe identical, but they are aligned. Yes,
Yes.
you're correct. Aligned is the right word. Okay.
You're welcome.
Son of Tiamat, who's been a member for 10 months, says Armored Skeptic is a living toy jack. I don't want to like. I'm not doing this to like shit on Greg. I don't know him. He's somebody in this sort of community that I really have spoken to, but which is rare at this point. Like you guys know me, I know everybody. I don't know Greg though, and this video is embarrassing. There's no other way to describe it. It's embarrassing. If you look at the like to dislike ratio, I think the dislikes overwhelm the likes at this point.
Yeah,
it's not performing well. I'll put it that way.
Day, because what is it really? It's just anti-Columbus Day. Think about it. What do people do on Indigenous Peoples Day? They hate Columbus, burn him in effigy, and hold mock trials of him. Don't just name swap it and make it hate on Columbus Day.
Yes,
and this
that's the same.
clear contradiction, along with
it's the same intention though. He's saying don't just like shit on Columbus because there's no reason to. He's a historical figure from a point in time which you do not exist and which your modern ethics, your modern morals do not apply. It's very silly. That's what he's saying.
Statements that he made in his follow-up video make it pretty f***ing clear that he simply doesn't.
Shu keeps him on a tight leash. Shu and Skeptic haven't been dating for a very long time. Shu is dating Eudaimonia. They've been together for a while. I think they're actually they're engaged. Yeah, they're engaged. Lance for 5 says Indigenous Peoples Day, the ultimate participation trophy. Oof! Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Oh, the English Lois for 10
says spicy.
The English Lois for 10 says, I thank God for Columbus. If it weren't for him, I would be living in a mud hut. I don't want Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't need a day to celebrate myself. So happy Columbus Day. I want my spoon uwu. I can't play it because I'm not sharing my screen, friend, but trust me, I have just listened to it and I did hear it.
I don't know what it is with you guys, but you are never gonna get me to say that phrase.
Say uwu.
No.
What's that, Bill?
Bill is telling me not to say it.
He said it's not a participation trophy. It's a bill of sale.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
Want to own up to the mistakes that he made in his original upload. I want to show what the human brain looks like on indoctrination.
Try.
Okay, so that's basically gonna be your own brain.
Yeah, try.
Yeah.
I could actually show you that. I mean, we've got.
We're gonna watch your video and you're gonna show that. Actually.
Let's go.
Knowing Better's video.
This is what happens when you're a leftist and you talk in this weird way to try and own everyone who disagrees with you.
I don't. Now, here's the thing, Spoon.
Why do you do that over my impression? You're fucking it up.
Well, no, because people might claim that you're like putting on your voice, but obviously you're not.
No,
I mean,
that's my actual
we do the
voice.
Show once a week, actual voice. Oh, Bigora.
Fuck off, Bill.
I'm glad you heard him shout Bigora from downstairs.
Oi, Bigora.
Whoop. Oh, the real thing.
Oh.
He said, "Are those Protestant or Catholic Bantus?"
Neither, because they're deceased, Bill. They got taken up by fucking Zulus.
Oof.
They went black on black crime in the old world sense.
Here's the thing, though. I often wonder, like, if I come off as if I'm putting on a voice, and people say that. Of course, I've been accused.
Yes, because you sound like an AI.
AI, as people say.
You know what I find really weird? You
not.
get accused of that, but I don't.
I know it's weird. Well, you'll get accused of it eventually. Don't worry, sunshine. You'll be accused of that eventually at some point too.
No,
but
I won't.
It is a strange.
I sound too sexy to be AI.
It's a strange diction. It's a strange diction. That's all I'll say.
Knowing Better's video is a really good example
Greg's.
of how your ego can block you from accepting reality.
He just has a lot of bass in his mixing. I can tell.
But it's also it's addiction though. It's addiction though. That's weird.
What? The weird way of talking, like his Duke Nukem trying to be academic.
In order to be able to come off as more intelligent, and like.
That's one of my favorite comments I've ever heard. Arrogance generally stemming from cucked insecurity. Spoon is an example of humorous audacity, which generally indicate uncucked, yeah.
You want to know how academics speak, like me. fast and autistic and disjointed.
So Ben
It's every
Shapiro.
academic I've ever known. It's I'm not even including myself in this categorization, but yes, it's the Ben Shapiro style of speaking. Just like because you've
How would you
got all
categorize
these
Moldbug then?
because you've got all these Moldbug's the same way. You've got all
Moldbug
these
does not
thoughts
speak
in your
quickly.
head.
He speaks very drony and slow.
He does speak drony and slowly, but he puts an extremely large amount of information in every sentence that he says.
Yeah, and it's often kind of meandering to people.
That's an academic way of speaking. So look, Grog. Here's the thing: people who are intellectuals, and I will not include myself in that, even though I think I probably
You probably
maybe could be included in it. Don't care so much about this kind of presentation of speaking to make us sound like we're intellectual, because what we're saying is prima facie evident that we're saying something intellectually important. That's all I'm saying. But he's always been like this, so I mean, this is not new.
Protecting you from uncomfortable truths from which you are currently benefiting. And the fact that knowing better didn't want to address these.
I like the way that no one else outside of white people could potentially benefit from colonialism, which is kind of strange.
Well,
That
this
includes
is
all the
part of the
fucking
insanity.
foreigners who come
Part
to
of
our
the-
fucking lands after we get fucking shit
Yes.
going.
But part of the insanity of this is to pretend that that only white people ever engaged in warfare. Only
is
white people
absurd.
ever only white people only ever colonized other people's land. That is
Yes.
patently and
We just did it better than
performatively,
everybody else.
Demonstrably absurd. We just did it better than everybody else.
Yeah.
But that's
Boo-hoo.
that doesn't don't look at the history of Asia. Then if you're angry about colonialism, if you think that white people are so bad, don't look at Asia, because Asians were doing that. By the way, Indian nations,
Yes.
Native American nations, were conquering each other for thousands and thousands of years.
Like I said
Let-
before,
let's not get this shit
Genghis
twisted.
Khan, he was just he's a prolific lover.
Yeah, his literally, what is it? It's something like 5% of all human beings on Earth are related to Genghis Khan. It's something
Something like that,
insane
yeah.
like that. It's ridiculous. It's like 2 to 5% have some genetic relationship to Genghis Khan. He fucked so many people.
These issues in his fault.
I called him a serial lover.
Yeah, that's
What
that's one
video
way to
makes
describe
it
it.
pretty obvious that he is indoctrinated, and his ego is protecting him from accepting the fact that
Indoctrinated?
he's benefiting from a Eurocentric mindset that has.
Indoctrinated is a very strong term, sir.
Yeah, especially in this, it's just true.
He's we're not even 5 minutes in. And he still hasn't fucking said anything. He just called him indoctrinated with no evidence. You listen, Grog. Here's the thing. I've been making videos for a long time, not as long as you, but for a long goddamn time. If you're gonna make a claim like that a person is indoctrinated, you have to provide the evidence first. You can't lead with that. You have to provide the evidence first. Where's the evidence?
By the
It's a
way, if
stranglehold.
if you're gonna say somebody is Eurocentric for saying people conquer, that's not exactly Eurocentric, because
It's
you can say
0.5%.
any other fucking people in all of human history conquered. So if you're gonna claim this is Eurocentric, well, you just kind of look like an idiot. Because it's factually incorrect.
Dr. Functional says it's 0.5%. That's still an
Genghis
insane
Khan.
number of people. Of Genghis Khan. That's still an insane number
That's
of people.
pretty good.
I feel like 5 was in my head and I didn't know the exact percentage. But yeah, 0.5%. That sounds about right. That's still
on
insane.
Aboriginal culture. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Columbus couldn't have discovered that the Earth was round because in his time it was already common knowledge.
The way Adam phrases this makes it seem like Columbus thought he was the first person to conclude that the world is round. He didn't, nor did he ever claim to. This is what Columbus was aiming for, Cipangu, which is supposed to be Japan. Obviously, this isn't where Japan really is, but that is where everyone thought it was. It wasn't Columbus's calculation of the distance that was off. It was any educated person's positioning of Japan. Columbus was also hoping that there would be uncharted islands off of the east coast of Japan. So when he landed here, that's what he thought he found. Globes weren't exactly common back then. In fact, this is the oldest surviving globe in the world, made in 1493, completely separate from Columbus.
I don't want to focus on this too much because this is not what the
ahead
video
and
is
try.
about. Humans have known since at least the Greco-Roman period that the Earth was a globe.
But that's not what he's talking about.
He's talking about the
talking about
positioning of
mapping.
his ships. Yeah,
Mapping
I like
the
the way that
Earth.
he
He's talking about-
completely focused
This
on
just
the
goes
the
off
part
into
that
a
is
fucking random ass tangent.
The point that fucking that the sailor didn't dispute. Like, this is
Well,
not what
he
Columbus
didn't
fucking
say-
argued for.
he didn't
Like,
say anything about
this is
this.
what the fuck you talking about.
We didn't know the North American and South American continents
Is
existed.
this how you defend fucking Adam
Yes.
Adam ruins everything by completely focusing
apparently.
on the point that he didn't fucking make? Well done.
But that's not the point
Dumbass.
that was made in the video.
No.
That's not the point that was made at all. It was that we didn't know that the American continents existed. That's it.
But as far as we know, Columbus was the first person in modern history to demonstrate that that's true.
Columbus landed on the island of Hispaniola, which is 7,000 miles away from Japan. That's where they got that number. So I suppose he got kind of lucky that he accidentally discovered some new land.
You know something fascinating? I've not read this book. But my dad has. He told me about it. I'll have to read it, and I'm sure you can find it if you type in like Chinese junk, Junk, not as in like trash, but a junk is a type of ship. They believe that they have found a Chinese junk in Florida that's from like 1000 AD, right? That the Chinese found Florida in hundreds and hundreds of years before Columbus. Is that accurate? I don't know, but would make sense. It's totally possible from my perspective that the Chinese would have discovered America before the Europeans did. I believe that's absolutely possible. So look that up, because there's a book about it that I've not read. My dad has and told me about, that there were Chinese junks found in the swamps of Florida, which is fucking insane, because it could not have gotten there from the eastern perspective. Hello, Bill. What's up? That's true. Leif Erikson, yeah. That's true. As Bill points out, Leif Erikson discovered America in about 1000 AD. So if there were Chinese junks in Florida, then they would have been around the same time as Leif Erikson discovered America. And discovered, we're using this as a very broad piece of terminology to say, like, when people from not the North or South American continent came to these continents. Hang on. Bill says, imagine the American Civil War if the South was Chinese and the North was Scandinavian. That would be certainly different, that's for sure. The Redneck Ram for 10 says, wait, back at the start of the stream, Spoon admitted we can put signs on him if we pay him. I hereby pay you to bow,
Hey, I said you can
uwu
pay to
sign.
put signs on me. I didn't say I have to do what the fucking sign says.
Wear the uwu sign every stream, Spoon Daddy. You said you would. Can't go back now. Spoon, put an uwu on yourself.
No.
Redneck Ram, I will do everything in my power to make sure that he has to fucking apply by your
You
super chat for
hold
$10.
no power here, bird brain.
I'll do what I can. Why has everyone calling me a bird recently? I'm not an avian. Why does everyone call me a bird?
Bill?
I'm not a bird. I'm not a bird. Why does everyone call me a bird? Rude. Redneck Ram, I'll try to do what I can. But
It's not gonna happen.
Spoon entirely.
I am
We'll
far too
find a way.
stubborn. No,
Life
no,
finds a way.
I won't.
Life finds a way.
You would have to
That's
douse
an
me with...
uncomfortable way of putting it. Lucky for...
That it would require an enormous amount of alcohol for you to even try. I don't lie. Fuck you. No pants, baby. How
You're a
dare you
liar.
people?
You're a liar. You're
How
a
am I
liar and
lying?
a South African. Well, I never met a nice South African, and that's not bloody surprising, man, because you're a bunch of ignorant loudmouths with no sense of humor. I'm not a burb.
For whom? Lucky in what way? Exactly. Lucky for the Spanish monarchy who made bank off of the discovery through the raping and pillaging of the peoples in the land.
What, raping and pillaging of the peoples? What were they doing themselves? What were they doing there?
They were
Excuse me,
killing
I'm not
each
saying
other.
I'm not fucking justifying colonialism. I'm not justifying any of this. But the reality is that they were doing that shit themselves. So don't get this shit twisted. Kissa, who has been a member for 9 months, says Aiden/Spoon, you need to post your stream in the server. Also, usually it's supposed to post automatically, but whoopsie. Also, I'm going live at 9 p.m. with my stream. And Aiden, I hope you remembered that I taught all that I taught you about the cars. Yeah, Remember most of it, Kizza. Spoon, you're welcome to come on and talk about a McLaren F1.
Base car.
Yeah. Kizza showed me so much about cars. I was completely ignorant. It's very cool.
Land? Is that what you mean by lucky? Oh god, that made me want to throw up. And that, ladies and gentlemen,
Really?
is what I mean by indoctrination.
Performative.
At no point.
That's indoctrination. Performative shit didn't make you want to throw up. Because that's what human beings have been doing to each other for the entire history of our existence on this fucking planet. Killing each other. Is it good?
Kind of common.
No. Is it good? Is it commendable? No. But that's what humans do. They kill each other. So do all animals, by the way. And we are animals. So let's not get this shit twisted.
Point during this video nor his follow-up video is knowing better, even willing to entertain the idea that it was a bad thing that Europeans came over to America. This breaks the entire premise of his opening.
What are you gonna do about it? It's a historical fact. Also, I'm gonna pin Kizza's stream. What are you gonna do about it?
Fuck off.
It's a historical fact. People have been doing this for forever. They conquer each other. They kill each other. It's just a fact of reality. Why is this only this skepticism? Why is this reproach only being applied to Europeans? I'd like to ask that question. Why is this only being applied to Europeans and not to anyone else, any other people who've done this over the course of history? Curious.
Statement about Columbus being a moral gray area. He just frames the European discovery of the Americas as necessarily good, just so that he has something against which he can weigh morally reprehensible.
Aren't you a Canadian, Grog? Then get out of Canada. If you have such a big issue with this, then leave. Go back to Europe. Return.
Reprehensible thing.
Also, this might just be my perspective, but the whole lucky thing, it could also be because if he didn't find land, he might get stuck at sea and die.
And die, yeah.
That might be the other reason why he's lucky.
Remember, again, he was looking for
land.
Japan.
Yes.
For Japan.
Fucking hell.
And found America.
He almost entirely begs the question on the positive benefits of this.
He didn't discover America, and he didn't prove the Earth was round.
This is something that you've heard everywhere, and it's probably already down in the comments. Whenever Adam says America, he's specifically referring to the United States, which is weird.
No, that's not what Adam's saying at all.
Yeah, that actually is what he's saying.
Oh.
I personally
it is,
have
though,
a problem
what
with
he's
people
saying. And when we say America, we're using it as a broad piece of terminology to refer to the Americas, the American continents. Oh yeah, he was looking for India, not Japan. But he was aiming for Japan. He was actually looking to find India so he could bring spices back. But he was aiming for Japan because he knew where he thought Japan was. That's it. Not complicated, not difficult to understand. He wanted to find an easier route to India, but he was aiming for Japan.
Whenever Adam says America, he's specifically referring to the United States, which is weird.
No, that's not what Adam's saying at all.
I personally have a problem with people who say that the Vikings discovered America first.
What Adam was saying is that Columbus could not have discovered America because there were already people living there. In fact, when Adam...
Who gives a shit? That's you... Spoon, I've said this multiple times. I said it in my last video. The thing that irritates me more than anything else is people pretending to be retarded. I really do not appreciate when people pretend to be retarded. When we say, colloquially, that Columbus discovered America, we are not saying that there were not people in America first. We're talking about Europeans finding the American continent. That's what we're talking about. So just, it's so pedantic. It's so infuriatingly stupid. Ugh.
Literally says that in his video. Instead of addressing that point, knowing better instead throws up a nitpick about the population number being wrong.
If you don't count the 250,000 Taino people that live there already.
Occupied? Someone lives here?
Who gives a f***? if Adam is wrong about the population number. The point he's making is...
Actually, it does matter. If he's making a scientific video and he's actually incorrect about the population number, then yeah, that should be brought up. That should be brought up. It should be brought up if he is incorrect in his video about the number of people that were in America, the Americas, because, and I think this comes up later, but which Greg really curiously, I believe, because I have listened to this video before, just glosses over. The Native Americans fucking murdered each other.
Yeah.
The shit out of each other.
They sacrificed each other, for God's sakes.
But one of the reasons why the Native American population was lower, we believe, and we don't know, but what we believe, based on a lot of historical records, was so low when Columbus rolls up, is because there had been a lot of deaths from disease, but they'd also killed the shit out of each other. And what I find so disingenuous and disgusting about this is that, I grew up in West Virginia, where there's a ton of mounds. If you're not familiar with this, the Native Americans built these huge, crazy, incredibly impressive dirt mounds. They look like little hills or near mountains to bury their dead in, much like the Egyptians did. Fascinating, because this is a tendency across the entire world. But they had killed each other to a point where their population, they'd either kill each other or disease had wrecked them before Europeans showed up. Europeans invited the plague as well, because we're talking about people who are being now introduced to a totally different biological ecosystem, and they were killed by the plague. But they had actually killed each other to an extreme degree before Europeans showed up. And we have pretty significant biological historical data to show that they killed the fuck out of each other. DRT's King for 10 says Hernando Cortez did nothing wrong. He ended the brutal Aztec Empire and freed the Nahuatl. I'm very bad at pronouncing names. Nahuatl people who helped them, and they stayed and ruled with the conquistadors over New Spain. The Aztecs weren't good. Oh, they were not good. No, they were not. It was a bloodthirsty empire. And Lance Refly says Indians are to world history as Tien is to Dragon Ball Z, in that both were present and nothing else. Oof. Jesus Christ. Tien's a good character. Yeah. Oof. Oof. They did, yes. So Leif Erikson also, again, was attacked first, according to everything we know about history. He did not attack the natives, and we actually believe that from some documentation that the that the Scandinavians, particularly the Icelanders, discovered America even before Leif Erikson. Again, going back before 100 AD, and there's some evidence of a Scandinavian village in North America that dates back even earlier to that. So all of this shit is stupid, it's pointless, and it makes no sense.
Is that people were already there. By continuously refusing to address this, knowing better is essentially refusing to acknowledge the Aboriginal population as equal to the Europeans and is dehumanizing them. This is why
I agree with that one. The Europeans were far better.
Bill says he thinks that there's some archaeological evidence that shows that there are Europeans in the Americas before the Asiatics, which are the Native Americans. And we know that for a fact that we know this is 100%. This part's not in contestation. Is that the Native Americans came from Asia? They came largely from Mongolia, right over the ice bridge, what's called Beringia. However, Bill has contested, and I have seen some evidence for this as well, that there were European DNA peoples living in the Americas also, like 10,000 years ago. I don't know how that would have happened. They would have had to have crossed over the same ice bridge as the Beringia ice bridge, as did the Asiatics. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but we do know for a fact that a lot of Native American tribes really don't want anybody digging up their ancient burial grounds, because some of the ones that have been isolated do have had some evidence of being Europeans and what we call broadly Europe. I don't know. I don't know the truth of that. I know that it's very difficult to find that evidence because these tribes do not want their and I think it's understandable, do not want their ancient fucking burial grounds to be dug up for scientific research, really genetic testing, because if we were to be able to prove, for example, that there were people who would be modern day considered European to have been in America before or at the same time as the Asiatics, who are the current Native Americans, ooh, that would kind of fuck with a lot of shit. I think about privilege points and things like that. I think that actually probably is likely. I think that there have been white people, or what we would call white people, European people in the Americas, for particularly if you look at South America, for look at the Clovis culture. I think it's probably been about 50,000 years. There have been people who consider broadly European now by today's standard in the Americas. I don't know that for sure. Nobody does, though. We don't know who the fuck the Clovis people were. We have no idea what they look like. We know about their culture, and we know they existed. They were one of the earliest cultures in the Americas. So were the Clovis people white? Maybe. I don't know. Nobody really does know either. So like, don't be like, that's so rude. Oh, that's racist. No, we don't know. We don't know what the Clovis people looked like. Sorry, just the truth.
He thinks it's a good thing that Columbus discovered land because he doesn't give a about how the natives feel about it. Aboriginals aren't even real people to him. And I know it's hard.
I hate this argument of this is like the typical equality doctrine, which is, oh, all life is precious and all people are equal. No, some people do really fucked up shit. And the thing is, with the morally gray, you can't actually be morally objective over which fucking people are better because you think, oh, look, these new people came and conquered the natives. The natives deserve to live just because they are like blood and soil argument is what you're fucking making.
Right. El Gusto, Aiden's spouting unproven theories again. I'm just saying they are
Which
theories. Me saying that they're theories. That's not me spouting anything. I'm not sharing disinformation. I'm not sharing disinformation. We legitimately do not know about the history of the Americas 50,000 years ago. We just don't know. We don't. Anyone claiming that they do know is an idiot. We don't know.
Harsh for me to say that about knowing better, but if you pay attention to the way that he talks about natives in this video, you'll start to understand what I'm getting at here.
The Vikings didn't discover America first. They stumbled on it looking for timber, stayed for a year, and then left. And not only did they never come—
That's true, but there's also more to this, and he actually underplays it, because we do believe that there was a long-term settlement in what they would have called Doggerland. But someone's mentioned Doggerland in the chat. But in Vinland, what they would have called America, Vinland, for a certain period of time. We don't know how long the Vikings were there. We don't know. But they did have a permanent settlement in Vinland that goes back again to about like 1000 AD.
Newfoundland.
Come back, but they just plain forgot about it. Their find amounted to nothing. Columbus's discovery, on the other hand, opened up both halves of the world to each other and changed world history forever.
Open up both sides of the world to each other? What the f are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
The only reason that the Aboriginal population was interested in trading with the Europeans at all is because they were under the false premise that it was going to be fair and equal trade.
You're out of your fucking mind.
Where the fuck are you pulling that from, dude?
Yeah, where are you pulling this from?
Where the fuck did you get that crap from?
They wanted shiny things. They wanted salt. Do you know how important salt was in history? Like how important salt was.
And also, you don't think they just find the new people interest because they come here bearing shiny shit and cooler outfits?
Shiny shit, and they have salt, which is a preservative, one of the most powerful preservative at that point in time, pretty much. They have one of the most powerful preservatives, this thing called salt, that they don't have access to. These are things that are incredibly important. They weren't just giving them shiny objects. Yes, they were giving them shiny objects, but they were giving them salt. Salt. They were trading salt, which is, again, like one of the most, if not the most potent preservative in the ancient world. So this is very silly. This is very stupid.
That Europeans were going to treat Aboriginals with respect. The native population didn't get excited about being able to travel to Europe, and the vast majority of Aboriginals that traveled to Europe did so against their will.
That's true.
When the fuck did that happen?
I'd say that's probably true. That the vast majority did travel against their will.
How many of them went back to Europe?
A lot of them, Pocahontas, right? Pocahontas.
The
Mary
Disney
John
character?
Smith. No, the real Pocahontas.
I don't know
Real
many who
Pocahontas.
went from the South Americas back to Europe.
A couple of them did. A lot of it was like as it's depicted in this photo, where it's just that they show it off of being like, "Oh, look at these strange people we found." But this was objectively a rarity. They did have access to salt. Sea-bearing people had simple methods of processing salt. Yes. Oh, Augusta, you're correct. But the Europeans had much more advanced methods at that point of purifying and collecting salt. And salt it's so crazy to think about it from today's perspective, but salt was so important.
Yeah,
Salt
because it's
is
meant
so
to preserve
necessary.
food.
Not just to preserve food, it's also necessary to the human diet.
To this
You need
day,
salt.
it's still part of our diet in South Africa.
Yes.
Like biltong, it comes from Dutch settlers because they needed meat because they're traveling all the way from fucking the Portuguese coast all the way down to South Africa. So they needed.
Son of Tiamat asks for 5 if either of us have watched Zoomer Historian yet. It's a very
No.
good creator. I have not, but I will check
I
him
don't know
out.
who that
Thank
is.
you. I'll write that down. I'll write that down. Hang on.
This is what I mean, that he frames the discovery of America as a universally good thing that was beneficial to
that.
everyone involved.
didn't
This
do that.
is a lie.
But he didn't do that, Greg.
He didn't do that actually. He just said it opened up the world
Yeah, he didn't do that. So don't
and changed
misrepresent
world
what he
history.
said,
He didn't actually say it was good
Yeah,
or
come
bad.
on.
He just said it just opened opportunities for both sides.
which he did. Which
Yes.
he did unquestionably. So don't misrepresent his point.
Yes,
We'll just listen to it.
it ended the Aztec Empire, which were fucking brutal to each other.
Columbus's
Yep, this is-
discovery
that's very
cannot possibly be framed as opening up both sides of the world to each other.
I mean, it literally does.
But it is. It
Yeah.
literally was. I mean, I'm sorry, but it literally.
No, biltong does not use
by
non-stop preserving
definition.
methods.
By definition, it opened up the world. It opened up East and the Europeans to the Americas. I'm sorry, but that's unquestionable. If you don't like it, then you can make that contention, but that is the truth. I'm sorry, I really don't understand that. It's very fucking dumb.
It began a very one-sided relationship that very clearly benefited
I don't
one
care if it's
side and was
one-sided. I don't care if it's one-sided. It opened up a relationship between these peoples. Who,
Oh
by
my
the way,
god,
were
are you
killing each
upset
other.
somebody's fucking ancestors weren't good at
Oh,
war?
somebody's ancestors weren't very
Pussy.
good at war. Oh, excuse me though. To
Life sucks,
judge
get a helmet.
What happened? To judge what happened in the 17 or 1600s based on modern day fucking sensibilities,
Is
that
dumb.
is presentism. It's presentism. It's silly. It's stupid. It's dumb.
very clearly detrimental to the other.
On his third voyage in 1498, he landed here, which he named the Gulf of Paria, and then he named all of this Paria. This is the terrestrial paradise that he was talking about in that previous letter. He describes that the land of Paria is a mighty continent that was hitherto unknown. So not only did he know he found something new, but he was describing the South American continent. He thought that the Caribbean as well as this new continent lied to the southeast of Asia.
I just wanted to point out how this completely contradicts something that he says about Columbus
Go ahead,
not
go ahead.
believing that he's
Explain
in
to us,
India.
Greg.
Because Columbus said that he thought he was in the southeast of Asia, and India is in the south.
Yes, and then he had to update his fucking knowledge. He had to update his knowledge. How is this? How are you not comprehending this? How are you not getting this? He realizes that he discovered a new continent. He still thinks it's next to China and Japan, but he doesn't know yet because they hadn't.
He literally just named
explored
it.
the entire
He
continent.
literally just named it as a new fucking place.
It's
Just fucking
unbelievable.
kind of tell you.
It's unbelievable levels of arrogance and ignorance here.
Hey, look, this
East
is
of
a place
Asia,
that I didn't
and
know existed,
Europeans
so I'm
back
gonna
then
name
just
it. This
called
is where I
all
think it is. Like, yeah, no
This is
shit.
where I
That's
think it is, yes.
Yes, that's because it's new to him. He doesn't fucking know it. That's why he names it.
So, duh. Greg, come on.
Fuck's sake.
What are you doing? Greg, come on, please. This is so stupid. Why? Why'd you make this video?
Southeast Asians, Indians. So that's why he thought he was in India. It's like almost nothing he says in this video is correct.
So now that we've
Actually,
cleared all-
everything he says in the video is correct.
So
We just don't
far,
like it.
so far, you're not exactly making a good case that you're not stupid yourself. dude.
Yeah.
that up, kind of, and we're in America, we need to discuss how primitive or not primitive the Native Americans were.
Compared to the Europeans, yeah, that's just objectively true.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
knowing better has an obnoxious style too, but Armored Skeptic makes me feel like I'm being lectured by a 16-year-old that says nudge. Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is when his seams really start to come undone.
People on both sides tend to lump all Native Americans in together. They're two huge continents spanning thousands of miles. What's true for one tribe isn't necessarily true for another.
Absolutely.
Objectively correct.
If one tribe mapped all the stars and created an almanac, that doesn't mean they all did. If one tribe didn't use the wheel, that doesn't mean they all didn't.
All right. But they weren't just tribes.
Yes, they were.
Uh-huh.
Even
but
with
they
just a
were.
cursory knowledge of native...
Okay, hang on. Pause. There were, oh my god. I've listened to this, and even I'm now being like, oh my god. You don't understand anything you're talking about. See, like, these broad areas that say, like, Creek, or Miami, Illinois, Shawnee, Apache, Comanche, etc. They were not areas that were completely controlled by these tribes. There were other tribes that existed within these regions. You know, so fucking pissed off about this.
And then you
went
get
to,
emotionally invested.
I went to a place one time called Natural Bridge. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Natural Bridge. I think it's in what state's this in? It's like in the Maryland, West Virginia area. Natural Bridge State Park is one of the world's treasures. It is in Virginia. My dad and I were at Natural Bridge one time. It is a natural bridge. It is a naturally formed bridge. I'll send you a picture. You have to put it on screen. But this is what it looks like. It is a natural fucking bridge. It's crazy. That works. When we were there, this is years ago now. There was a Native American man who was there at the site, and he was selling wares from his tribe, and homemade goods and stuff. And my dad got into a conversation with this dude, and he said to us, he was explaining to my father how pissed off he was that his tribe couldn't get their eagle feathers. Because if you don't know, being able to possess eagle feathers is actually illegal in the United States unless you're of a specific tribe that has this allowance to own eagle feathers, because eagles are endangered. And he was explaining, and he used some fucking words, man. Like he used some language, if I may say, to explain his dismay at the fact that he and his tribe could not get their eagle feathers because there were too few of them. He said there were like less than 30 of them, and they said that the United States government said that they couldn't get their eagle feathers because there were so few of his tribesmen. That's fucked. But it also explains to you, like, he was part of some tribe, but he was part of an individual tribe that was a deviation from the larger tribe, and they wanted their own eagle feathers, right? Even though there's a larger tribe in which he was a part of, it's a small individual tribe that he was a part of that he wanted their eagle feathers. They did not consider themselves a part of the larger tribe in which he belonged to, right? Does that make sense? Like, it is, but he got categorized into this larger tribe, and they had their eagle feathers, but his tribe did not. And they couldn't get their eagle feathers because there was like 30 of them. I find that to be goddamn criminal. He should be allowed. He and his tribe should be allowed to have their damn eagle feathers. What the fuck? I think it's absolutely sickening that they should be allowed to have their eagle feathers. Sick, in my opinion. Sick. But, the fact that Grog is just putting this in these big giant, categories of native tribes is so incorrect, so wrong, that these people, like, look at these giant regions, Apache, Creek. Within the Creek, there's like 5,000 different tribes. It's crazy to try and say that all these people were the same. They were not. They were not part of nations. These are not nations in the way that we currently understand them at all. Not in any way. They're completely different comprehensions of how these people organized themselves than how we comprehend them in a modern day kind of nationalistic perspective. So to say that these are just like, to say like, oh, Creek, Apache, Comanche, these were big nations. No, they were not, Greg. They were not. They were very loose organizations of people who often killed each other. Okay, it's fucking insane. And I'm sorry, but it takes a really.
I'd like to know who made that map.
But it takes a, well, I don't know, but it takes a really kind of insensitive view of history to categorize native peoples together like this. Explain the eagle feather story very poorly, Aiden. Did I? Sorry if I did, but the reality is that the dude who I was talking to, who my dad and I were talking to, he was part of a small clan, if you want to call that, of Native American peoples who are not able to get their eagle feathers. And they were probably put into some other group of natives, which they did not believe that they themselves belonged to. So this is all fucking stupid.
History, you'd understand the natives were broken up into nations. A tribe is just what you would call an individual group. The Americas weren't just covered with hundreds of tribes that had no connection to each other.
But they were though. But they were though.
Language groups, and they even had ways to communicate with members of other nations.
But they were though. But they were though.
Speak the same language. This is where sign language comes from. The Aboriginal.
But Grog, they were though, and they all killed each other constantly. So stupid.
Of the Americas invented it.
Some of them did invent a wheel. They just didn't use them for hauling because they hadn't domesticated draft animals yet.
I would have been fine with that statement until he said the word yet. This implies that given enough time, they would have eventually, when no, they wouldn't have. Ever.
Well, la-de frickin' da! Hey, Dad, I can't see real good. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there?
There is no way in hell that you could possibly know that the Aboriginals of the Americas would never have domesticated the...
Why? Why would they have domesticated animals? Why would they have domesticated animals when they had no reason to, Greg? That's the question. Why would they have domesticated animals when they had no reason to?
So like saying sub-Saharan Africans would eventually catch up to Europe if they only had enough time. Like based on fucking what?
Right. Because why would they? Why would they? You live in a land of plenty, of the greatest plenty, potentially. Why would you need to domesticate animals in the way that Europeans did in order to survive? This is the cold winters hypothesis. I always have to come back to the cold winter hypothesis. This is the cold winters hypothesis. You don't need to, even though there's cold winters in the Americas, the amount of food in terms of animals and produce that is available in the Americas is completely different from the amount that is available in much of Europe. So it's very, very different, and you have to calculate it differently, and how people evolve as a species. That's wrong. As a society, excuse me, based on their availability of natural resources. So yes, it does matter, Greg. It actually really, really matters.
Buffalo. They had domesticated animals, even pack animals such as llamas and emus, and it was only a matter of
llamas. You're talking about South America now. You are mostly focusing on North America because you're talking about Christopher Columbus, but now you've moved into South America talking about llamas. This is insane. You can't be consistent. Llamas and emus, that's South America. That's not North America, idiot. Holy shit.
Look at this. Imagine if Europeans fought the Indigenous instead of conquering them. Why fucking would they?
I know.
This
I
is
know,
so stupid. Like, oh, well, you
It's the
you
dumb-
should have
one of the
you
dumbest
should have
things I've
been
ever
my
seen.
morality of the present day. Like, bitch, why?
Because it's presentism. It's stupid
idiot.
presentism. So dumb.
Did something larger.
Not because they're intellectually inferior or anything like that, but because they had a really difficult spawn point.
Please do not devolve into using video game logic for something like this.
He's doing it for the convenience of the audience, Greg, and you know this. He's using that terminology for the convenience of the audience. I'm so fucking sick of shit like this.
I never
He
even
is
thought of this
doing
as
it-
a video game. Actually, I just saw
but
like
he's-
where they
but-
came from.
But that's the point. That's the point. He's not doing it because he actually thinks these things. He's doing it to try and make it simpler for people to fucking understand things. And this is what drives me out of my fucking mind. Because I have to think about this every time I make a video. Me and Bill going through my video today, Bill keeps saying, Aiden, stop using these numbers. Stop using these numbers because people can't understand them. And Bill's right. Okay? People can't understand the numbers. And not in a bad way. Not in a rude way.
Told you. Phrase
Yeah, he told me he told me to rephrase them as percentile, but the unfortunate reality was with a lot of the numbers that I was looking at, there was no way for me to rephrase them as a percentile because they were based on a scale. That being said, like, Jesus Christ, I'm about to like lose my mind because you know, I worry about things like that, right? That's what I actually worry. That's what I spend my time worrying about. I spend my time worrying about like, oh, like is it 0.39% or not percent, 0.39 increase on a scale about what this thing meant. And then but meanwhile, people like this, they don't give a shit. They don't give a single damn about any of this. And I have to like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's out of I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. They
Calm
don't
down.
care about science whatsoever, but claim to. I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be the anti-scientific person because I'm a conservative, right? I'm supposed to be the anti-science person, but I'm the one who gives more of a shit about accurate scientific representation and reporting than anybody else.
You do realize it's just
drives me
rhetoric, right?
nuts. I know it's rhetoric. Anywho, I have to go pee. Go continue this video.
Okay, hold on a sec.
This. Knowing better is supposed to be a professional teacher, and he talks about these issues like he's a third grader writing a book report.
There are
Have you listened to yourself talk to?
no draft animals or work or pack animals in the Americas. There are no horses, donkeys, or camels.
Those are not the only animals in the universe that can do those things.
Actually, yes, they are.
The draft animals that we used were not automatically conceived into nature exactly the way that we use them on
Yes, it's called selective breeding. That's how they get domesticated.
farms today. Livestock's features are altered through selective breeding to
There you go.
create optimal work animals with ideal features. But
Yes, and it's something the Europeans did because they have better animals for that particular purpose. That was his point.
besides, your point is irrelevant. The indigenous North Americans could have chosen to never domesticate anything larger, and that would not have invalidated their culture.
If you compare them to which one had the better culture, yes, actually, it would.
They still deserve to exist, and they still deserve to be left alone.
How the fucking hell are you applying libertarianism to like literally like a couple of hundred years ago? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is pathetically naive.
Wait, did he apply libertarianism to this?
Yes. Listen to this.
Oh, what a ding dong.
Listen to this.
Through selective breeding to create optimal work animals with ideal features. Besides, your point is irrelevant. The indigenous North Americans could have chosen to never domesticate anything larger, and that would not have invalidated their culture. They still deserve to exist, and they still deserve to be left alone.
See?
Wait, okay.
That is a typical libertarian perspective.
Okay, hang on though, but that's not the way reality works.
That's what I'm saying.
This
That's
is
libertarian.
presentism. This is fucking present. This is presentism of they deserve to be left alone. By the way, I agree, but that's not how history works. Not how reality works.
They
You are
deserve to be left
judging
alone. Yeah.
You're judging history from a current modern day perspective, which is absolute nonsense.
It's just so stupid to think, oh, look, we should just leave people alone. Like, yes, these people... Do you think the tribes left each other alone? No, so why the fucking hell
They
were
did not.
foreigners coming to it, you fucking idiot?
Of course not.
Like,
DRT
what a
King for
stupid
5
point.
says, the Incan Empire was a palace economy similar to the Minoan of the Bronze Age and supposedly had the ability to smelt platinum and wrote in knots. Wow. Yeah, I've heard some of that. I think that probably is
smell
true,
platinum?
but
What?
it smelt.
Oh, sorry, I
to-
think it's
to-
like smell. I'm like, what the fuck nose do they have?
Oh yeah, you could smell the platinum.
Yeah.
I've heard that as
Rich
well.
fuckers
DRT
with good
King,
noses.
and I've watched some documentaries on that. I think that probably is true. I don't know for a fact, but I think that is probably true. The ability to develop smelting is some advanced technology that is absolutely accurate. If they had that in Inca, in the Incan Empire, that is really, and so does the Aztecs. I believe they probably both did have that capacity. It's not to say that this is the thing. It's not to say that there are no advanced civilizations that flourished in particularly South America, as the Incans and Aztecs did. It's more to say that most of them were gone by the time that Americans even, or excuse me, that Europeans even arrived in the Americas. Some of those empires were still.
They were advanced for what's around them, but compared to a global context, they were not exactly advanced.
Not compared to Europeans, but also Europeans
Yes.
did. This is unquestionable. Europeans did bring horrible diseases with them that they have been exposed to.
To be fair, so did the Asians when it came to the Black Plague in Europe. And we don't hate Asians for fucking wiping the crap out of Europeans for the fucking trade. Yeah, it's just trade.
Weird that right that we don't perpetually blame the Silk Road for the fact that there was disease that was spread along it. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But we do blame the Europeans for coming to the Americas.
Yeah.
The Aztecs didn't develop the same precious metal use as the Incans, El Gusto. Oh, I could be incorrect about that. I thought they did. But the Incans definitely did. That's very fascinating, though. I mean, because, and this is the whole thing, is that I am truly fascinated by early cultures. I watch documentaries about them almost every single night. Which probably sounds weird, but I love early history documentaries. I love learning about like how ancient cultures worked. Any information I can find about them, I find to be fascinating. So I'm really interested in that. Are you? Is it just me? I don't know. Do you watch like documentaries about ancient people, ancient cultures?
Yes, I do watch a lot of documentaries about the Nazis.
I don't do that. No, I watch tons and tons of documentaries like almost every single night about ancient cultures, be it in Egypt or Greece or the Minoans. Tons of documentaries on the Minoans.
I tend to watch ones on.
I think the Minoans are the most fascinating fucking culture like in European history. In my personal,
I don't really watch a lot of documentaries actually. The main ones that I tend to watch tend to be on. I don't know. I tend to watch stuff on military intelligence.
What do I think of the Roman Empire? You know what? I have mixed opinions on the Roman Empire. Depends on
every day
when
because
in
there's
history.
statues of the Roman empires in my videos.
Yeah, it depends on when in history we're talking about the Roman Empire.
Augustus.
But Zenith is also right. They had no access to tin. Tin is the most important thing in terms of moving from a Bronze Age culture.
Yeah, because it makes it look coal.
Into an Iron Age culture because you need tin for that. Let's see. Sven for £2 says, "I just categorize them as one thing: losers, bro." Probably accurate. But I mean, in the big scheme of things, in the broad scheme of things, historically, yeah.
They were conquered by superior people.
It doesn't mean that the conquering was right, but it happened, and it happened because they were
weaker.
They were less advanced. And that was normative at the time, but now we're looking at things from a modern perspective where we have to like pretend to be offended by everything. DRTA's King for 10 says, the Inca had domesticated llamas, but in the North Americas, animals weren't good for domestication. The closer were bison, and they were being hunted to extinction like the original North American horses and the horses, but also the mastodon as well, from my understanding. Binary Eclipse for 5A says the idea of the savages being more advanced than they were is such a modern tard idea. Something Australia is right now.
Yeah,
with the
agreed.
referendum. Absolutely, and the thing is too. So yeah, I think that's 5 Aussies. Holy crap, dude! I've looked into the development and the cultural civilizational development of the Aboriginal Australians, and my good God, dude, I'm honestly flabbergasted. I know. Look, I know you developed the boomerang. That's very cool.
And that's the height of
But
your
other than
fucking
that,
advancement.
the Aboriginal Australians
Are primitive as
developed
shit.
nothing. They were sitting on that continent, a whole continent,
And they developed fuck all.
and developed nothing. Fucking astonishing. I mean, just didn't until the white man came, and you can get mad about that. And now Aboriginal Aussies sit around and
do fuck all.
Snort petrol. But yeah, here we go.
Domesticating beasts of burden is not a requirement to being a sovereign people.
Actually, it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, you're not going to develop any farm. If you don't develop farm, you're not going to develop people. You're not going to develop people.
Yep.
You're not going to have any strength of numbers, which means you're going to get conquered.
Exactly.
So yeah, actually, if you look at them in a sort of lineage of what you need to do to advance your civilization to anything that might protect a more advanced foe, yeah, you kind of do, actually.
People asking about the IQ differential. I believe the IQ average of Australian Aboriginals is
like
something
under
like 70. It's
Yeah.
really, really low. It's scary low. I don't know that off the top of my head, but that's my remembrance or my recall of it. That's not all, of course. It never when I say averages, I never refer to any individual person, because I was talking to Bill earlier, but I've also Spoon, who's your favorite member of the Supreme Court?
Hi, Clarence Thomas.
Oh, it's Clarence Thomas.
I like
I
like Neil Gorsuch as well, though.
Neil Gorsuch is alright, but we agreed that Clarence Thomas is
Most
not just him.
space
Let's talk
boy,
about
yes.
he's a most space boy. But let's talk about who's your favorite, generally speaking, broadly speaking, American political philosopher
Hamilton.
outside of modern, current.
Oh, current? Oh, dear God. Probably Mulbug.
Is it Thomas Sowell? That's Mulbug. Is it Thomas Sowell though?
Yeah, I would say Mulbug.
It's real up there, but Thomas Sowell is way up there. So before you call us racist, which I don't really give a fuck if you do, because that's a meaningless phrase a meaningless term at this point in time. Spoon and I think that Justice Thomas is the greatest, is the best Supreme Court justice, and that Thomas Sowell is one of the best political philosophers of the age. It's not about race. It really isn't. So it's about intellect. However, to ignore realities is stupid, regardless of your race as well. So
Also,
let's just get that.
if you were
thing under our
smart,
belt.
if you were smart of your any race, you would learn from the better race. This is just like how any
Yeah,
human
sure.
beings get any better. Is to go, hey, look, this civilization, these are the people that have the skills that make
better,
shit
yeah.
happen. Learn from them. It's like, why wouldn't you? Like, if I was going to learn, like, finance, you know who I'd go look for? A Jew. Why? Because that's what they're fucking good at. If I was going to go for the tech industry, guess where I would go? Someone from Asia, because that's where they dominate.
Jewish people are extremely successful.
Yes.
They have extremely high IQs.
If I was going to learn like strength training, who would I go to? Fucking Eastern European. Why? Because they're the strongest people on fucking earth. If I was going to learn like
These
political
aren't-
philosophy, a German
I
or an
think
Englishman.
we really need to drop this shit about like, oh, people of different racial backgrounds are bad, or judging people from different racial backgrounds are bad. No, stop that, please stop that. We can accept that we are different as human beings.
Yes.
That's normative. It's okay. It's actually good. It's good that we're different. But to not accept that there are differences, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's really dumb. DRT Escape for 10 says the North American Indians were just above cavemen. The Aztecs were a civilization in the Bronze Age. The Maya were collapsing before the conquistadors showed up, and the Inca were the weirdest civilization on Earth. The Inca probably were one of the weirdest civilizations on Earth, if not the weirdest. You're probably right about that, DRT. They were fucking, well, a lot of them were fucking, but that was all shit that was happening before Europeans came over to the United
I just
wasn't
don't.
United
I don't
States, to the
understand
Americas,
how people still believe in the noble savage myth. Like the fucking Native Americans on both continents were fucking barbarians.
Indigenous
So
peoples. Yeah. What? But that. Whatever. It is. Let's keep going on this video. Let's hear it more of it. We've got so much left. Holy crap.
This is such a weird line of logic.
And because of that, they hit somewhat of a cap on their civilization tech tree.
Alright, the video game references are cute and everything, but he's using...
Yeah, he's doing it to be cute, to help you understand as an average person. Sorry, go ahead.
He's using them as a form of dishonesty. What Knowing Better is doing here is implying that it is necessary...
It is!
I'm sorry, Greg. It's necessary to move up a tech tree. You can't go from being a hunter-gatherer society into a fucking advanced society that builds massive structures overnight. And I'm saying that with the explicit reason of pointing out the fact that there were mound builder cultures in the Americas. They didn't go from like hunter-gatherer into mound builders overnight. It is a process. Don't get this shit fucking confused.
Why even in Age of Empires, this is the
understand.
thing. You needed to have certain buildings and a certain amount of resources to advance into the next fucking age.
He's mad about the video game reference. However,
But they're fucking accurate.
It's correct. It's correct. You don't move from a basic hunter-gatherer society
to an Iron
into a
Age,
society that is constructing into a society that's constructing massive buildings, as the Aztecs did, overnight. That's a period of time. It is a period of evolution of culture, society, and technology. Greg, it doesn't happen overnight.
For a human civilization to evolve and develop a specific way. Again, he's not even entertaining the idea that it's okay for a civilization not to develop.
I don't care!
He never said this either. He just said
First of all,
why
he
they were
didn't say any of
primitive,
this
you
shit.
fucking idiot.
Again, he didn't say any of this, but who cares? It is a reason why the American cultures, in terms of, I mean, the cultures that developed in the Americas, did not have the same development of civilization that European cultures had, because they did not have work animals to help them with these projects, right? That's unquestionable. But that's not what he's saying. You've seen the Inca, you've seen the Maya, you've seen what
No, I
they've
don't think
done.
he has.
They built massive fucking pyramids on the labor of
slaves.
He's implying
about
that
Greg?
Aboriginals of the Americas were developmentally stunted, and because of that,
Well, compared to the Europeans, they objectively were.
that we should see them as inferior.
No, that's not what he said.
What
either.
about what he's saying?
I
And
hate
what about what
the
he has said?
implication
So
of
stupid.
everything he fucking does.
Okay, first of all, none of us have called the American peoples, Native American
Communist
peoples,
appropriate.
inferior. Not a single one of us have. We have not done that in any way. And certainly the guy that you're criticizing did not do that, Greg. None of them called them inferior at all. We said they were different ways of developing societies. Is that not okay? Why is it not okay for there to be differing ways of developing society? That's nuts. For you to say that it was inferior. Greg, thank you for showing your fucking whole ass on that one and what you really think.
He's implying that they should not be seen as equal humans.
They are not equal human beings. And we don't ever look at anyone as equal fucking ever. You don't look at fucking conservatives the same as equal as you do leftists. So what the fuck?
That's not what he said.
And no, that
That's
is what he
not
said.
what he said. No. The guy.
And he knows that. He
did
literally
not
just
say
said
that.
he's implying. So yeah, that's not what he said. This
So
is what he is
making
inferring.
Shit up. Yes, he's inferring all of this. He did not say that, Greg. He in no way said that they're lesser human beings. What a sickening actual thing to apply to another human being. To say that he said that other people are lesser than. He never said that from a video that you had to pull out of a 6-year-old
So North
fucking
Korea.
unlisted video. He did not say they were lesser than. Oh my god.
When he
It's
said
just
that the natives were primitive,
We need to discuss how primitive or not primitive the
grosses
Native
me out.
Americans were.
he wasn't
They were.
just using that as a colloquial term. He meant
use it as a
that
colloquialism.
Aboriginals are not as good as Europeans.
Well, if you look at
Didn't say
civilization
that.
advancement, that's
Didn't say
true,
that.
though.
First of all, hang on though. He did not say that.
But
he
it is
did
true.
not say that. In terms of civilizational success, yes, Europeans
Yes.
were far more advanced than Aboriginal Americans. Yes,
Yes.
that's largely true.
Yes.
There were incredible empires that were built in South America. That's also true.
Yes.
But in
But they
terms
don't
of
hold account of the fucking
conquering,
Europeans.
the conquering force,
Yeah, Europeans are
of the
vastly
Europeans,
superior.
yeah, Europeans are vastly superior. Correct.
Real life is just like some sort of a role-playing game, and because Europeans had filled out
And you're treating life like some kind of role playing game too. Don't pretend that you're different. You're treating it like some kind of role playing game as well. It's very silly. Stop.
You're treating like
more
a
of
role-playing
their
game based on
tech
vegetarianism.
tree that Europeans were somehow winning the game.
They
They were. That's how they were able to conquer.
And
You
they did.
fucking idiot.
Yeah, they won.
That's
We won.
literally how that's such
Sorry.
how warfare works.
Sorry,
you
are
dumbass.
you mad? As a European descendant, you won.
Yes.
Why are you in Canada right now, Greg? You're in Canada right this
Because of the
second.
Europeans.
This is bizarre, right? He's a Canadian. You're in Canada right now, Greg, because of the power of your ancestors to conquer a land. Yeah, it's true. Sorry.
What's the like?
So
the,
more or less,
like
he's
to dislike
implying
ratio
that
in
it was
this video?
in.
Huh?
What's the
Say
like to
again?
dislike ratio on this?
Oh,
video?
it's about 50-50 from what I saw. Is it
Really?
worse now? Oh, let's see. What's the like to dislike ratio on this video now?
Let me see here.
Oh, can you see it? Ooh. I don't have it on my
It's
Brave
about like
browser. Do you see
53
it?
to 47.
Because it's only, first of all, this is a guy with 450,000 subs. And this video has 25,000 views.
He doesn't get a lot of views, does he?
1.6 thousand likes. What's the dislike ratio?
1.3.
That's real bad.
Dude, I get
That's
more.
real
I get
bad.
more fucking. I get more views on my videos than he does. Like I guarantee,
Ugh.
if I made a video about this, I guarantee you I would get at least
Please read the
20,000 views.
comments. Yeah, please read the comments. I'll read some of the comments, guys.
The comments are fucking brutal.
Yeah, the comments are brutal on this. They say, let's see. Well, he's doing a thing that is not necessarily like a bad thing for YouTubers to do, but he's liking a whole bunch of comments, which puts those comments higher up in the algo, right? I understand the need for context and understanding history and how it impacts the world today, but in no way will I ever feel guilty or responsibility for any act I myself have not committed. I'll do
Yes.
my best to uplift those around me when and where I can, but that doesn't include apologizing to my supposed ancestors. Hope you're doing well. He didn't like that. It's difficult. Blech. As again, it's difficult to tell because he's I think he's deleting comments. I think whenever talking about the subject, people forget or downplay the role of diseases
by
in the
the newest first.
conversation. Oh, let's do newest first, shall we? Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see you're still
Let's do
entirely
it.
too stupid to understand facts, reason, and the difference between them and say theories and hypotheses.
Oh yeah.
You should probably
hypotheses,
delete
yeah.
this. There's a lot of errors you've made. I'm going to make a video
Yeah.
demonizing Columbus. How original. Oh, that's Son of Tiamat. He's one of my. I see my comment section as well. Oh, and today I'm also going to demonize all of Europe for being.
Chat.
Yeah, I'm going to demonize all of Europe for being brutal colonists. Daring today, aren't we? Have you been struck by lightning? Gonna be real here. I don't like the new animated Skeptic, but it's just a cosmetic. I'll take this new Skeptic character. Yes, I was on board until he brought up Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian language is not forbidden in any part of Russia, yet Russian language is a culture systemically erased in Ukraine. It's practically a U.S. colony. Fucking.
I mean, that's true.
It's totally true.
That's 100% true. And I talked with Dylan a little bit about that. He really addressed my concern about that. About
Not
the
very well, I
invasiveness
imagine.
of Russian ethnic propensity within Ukraine. I'm not trying to shit on Dylan again. I think Dylan's done really good. Look, guys, if you think I'm being a big gay about this, it's because I really, 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 I'm not in Ukraine. Am I? Am I? Dylan Burns is. So I'm not gonna, and he is right now in Ukraine. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be a big butthead about that. I'm not in Ukraine. He is. He knows better than I. Let's
Russia
go back
is.
to the
Look at this. Is what he says.
video.
Listen. This is funny. Someone said, "I wasn't born until you brought up Russia-Ukraine conflict. Ukrainian language is not forbidden in any part of Russia. Yet the Russian language and culturally
is forbidden in Ukraine.
Yes, is systemically erased in Ukraine. It is practically a U.S. colony." And he says, "Putin declared that Ukrainian language is not a real language, that the culture is invalid, and that Ukrainians are actually Russians." It's partly true, actually. And anything related to Ukraine, including colors of their flag, is outright banned in Russia. Ukrainian shit is illegal in Russia
sort of.
as we speak. Russian language is not illegal in Ukraine. Actually, it is actually a significant percentage.
No. The Ukrainian language is not illegal in Ukraine. The Russian language is illegal in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what I just said. The Russian language
sorry.
is not illegal in Ukraine, but it is.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Yes, a significant percentage.
The Russian language, is illegal in Ukraine in terms of public publication.
Yes, a significant percentage of Ukrainians are of Russian ethnicity, and there are many Ukrainians who speak Russian. Okay, well done. Ukraine erasing Russian culture from their land is response to Russia's attempting to erase culture, is Ukrainian culture in Ukraine. No, they're attempting to kick out the fucking American influence in Ukraine, you twat.
Yeah, okay, so here's something. I talked about this last night, but I'll
Look at this.
repeat it.
This is their version of the culture war. Dude, I don't know if you understand this. The only fucking reason they're doing this is...
culture war.
Dude,
Holy shit, this is an actual
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
war where people are getting fucking murdered. There are people who
Russia
are
does not want to rule Ukraine. It's because the Americans are pushing them to be used as a fucking proxy axle grinder against the fucking Russian Empire, you dumbass.
There's people who are actually being fucking murdered on the streets. This is not a culture war, Greg.
Dumbass.
Holy shit. How could you say something like that? How could you say... How could you say?
This is someone who doesn't know anything about warfare.
I'm actually. You got me. You got me actually fucking upset. How could you say something like that?
He doesn't know anything about the
People in
conflict.
Ukraine are actually being fucking killed in foxholes. How the fuck could you possibly relate?
Russia
that
has been attempting to delegitimize Ukraine as an ethnicity for more than 20 years now. No, they haven't.
Sick. That's sick. No, I'm sorry. That's fucking disgusting. You know what? Let's go back to the video because now I'm very angry. I'm personally emotionally fucking disgusted by his fucking perspective. How could you fucking say something like that? How? Spoon, how could you say something like that? We're talking about people getting
I just replied to that like,
murdered.
what the fuck are you smoking, dude?
We're talking about people getting fucking murdered. They're being killed. They're dying in foxholes. How can you say something like just, oh, it grosses me out, you've grossed me out, now I'm mad, now I'm 100% mad. Let's go through the rest of this video because now I'm 100% fucking furious.
Inevitable for the originals to get overtaken by Europeans and that they deserved to be conquered. I can't believe that I actually have to say this to a grown-ass adult, but life is not a video game.
Life is not a libertarian philosophy either, you fucking moron.
Life is not a video game, and then how dare you say that shit? How dare you say that shit?
Do you not think that the video games is based on the real world, not the other way around?
But then say the things he said about Ukraine. Like, you know what, Greg, you're right. Life is not a video game. How dare you? How dare you, dude? How dare you?
If you keep doing that, I will strangle you until your voice is like that permanently.
I'm sick. I'm sickened by this kind of fucking goddamn grotesque virtue signaling. Go fuck yourself. Oh my god.
Calm down.
Oh, it's literally grotesque.
Civilized are not required to
angry.
develop a specific way in order to be considered valid, and a relatively advanced civilization does not have the duty nor the right to conquer a less advanced civilization.
They didn't say it's their duty, that's just the reality of human nature and exploration.
Just the reality
yeah,
of
that's
human
just
nature.
conquest and
by the way,
dude.
all those Native American nations were doing that to each other for thousands of years before that. So shut up.
You're just upset that the
Throughout
Europeans
his
are better.
entire video, this is the only argument that knowing better makes to support his claim that it was a good thing that Columbus...
Yes, it's called Might Makes Right.
discovered new land. You, sir, are an imbecile.
You can't really
What a hilarious fucking contention, Grog. Yes, it was a good. How do you think?
You,
how's
sir,
life,
are an
how is life-
imbecile.
Imbecile. How are things going in America now versus in 1600? By the way,
Yeah, who killed more people?
compared to just saying, like, how do you think that would have worked? I mean, it's complete fantasy, so we don't know. But how would things have worked if things had just kept going along the same pattern that they were in the 1600s in
How
the
does he
Americas
actually sound?
versus when the Americans actually, or excuse me, when the Europeans discovered America properly, right, and colonized it? Would you rather have that? We throw some fucking children's heads down a pyramid. Is that better? That's better? Is that better, Grog? It's better to throw some child heads down a pyramid. Thank you. I don't fucking think so.
have large cities without animals.
Oh,
You can't really have large cities without animals.
there were dozens of enormous cities here before Columbus landed.
What were they doing? What were they
Some
doing?
So
What were they doing?
incredible.
What were they doing in those cities, Grog? What were they doing? Were they not killing children and throwing their heads down a fucking pyramid? Oh, they were? Oh no, it's almost like every single human culture on the face of the planet has done terrible things. It's not just white people, and you can't just blame white people for this shit. You weird fucking, like, what, you know what? Spoon, when you sent me this video, we talked about it. I said I have often disagreed with Yiz. I don't think she's here tonight. I've often disagreed with Yiz over her use of the term anti-white. Yiz has always told me, Aiden, you gotta use the term anti-white. You gotta use the term anti-white because that's what it is. They are anti-white. This is anti-white. This is anti-European propaganda. There is no other way to describe this. This is anti-white, anti-European propaganda. Yeah, it is.
That they could be considered technological marvels. And honestly, I'm not even remotely surprised that the American education system does not include information like this in their curriculum, because they don't even want you to understand how Aboriginal...
No, fuck off. By the way, Greg, I don't know where you went to school, but in my high school education, I was absolutely taught about Native peoples in the United States and in South America. I was absolutely taught about them. I, in fact,
why is this dude talking like his batteries are low?
In this stream, a bunch of information that you yourself have no access to, Grog. So here's my interaction with the native man at Natural Bridge. Don't fuck with me on this, you absolute fucking mong.
lived before Europeans got here. But you need to get your head out of your education curriculum and just look at the things that they've discovered recently.
What is driving this? What is driving this, Spoon? I don't understand. I don't get it. What's driving this fucking nonsense?
Boredom?
Because this is not. I guess so. This is not what as someone who went through the American education system, I did not experience any of this. It's all just bullshit nonsense to me. What silliness.
2018, scientists using LiDAR discovered a massive lost Mayan city that at its most conservative estimate would have been home to 10 million people. Likely many more than that.
With the exception of llamas and guinea pigs in Peru, they didn't have any domesticated animals.
Wrong. They domesticated wolves and dogs, foxes,
Where the fuck?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is your data that they domesticated wolves?
He didn't.
I'd like to know where the fuck you got that from.
Where is the citation? Can I see a citation? I can't see a
For
citation. But
fucking
however,
wolves? Who the
let me
fuck
tell you
believes
this.
these
Let me
people
tell you this.
domesticated wolves?
They did not domesticate. Okay. They might have domesticated wolves, but they did not themselves.
10 million my fucking
They brought
ass.
them over. They brought domesticated dogs over the Beringia, over the Bering Strait, when they came from Siberia and other parts of Asia. Okay? That's where they brought the dogs from. It's not confusing. It's really simple. Why the fuck can you not figure this out, Grog? It's super fucking easy to understand this. It happened in Europe and Asia. I'm not saying that like somehow depletes their accomplishments, but everybody did this. Every single human culture did this because humans and dogs have a linked evolutionary trajectory, right? Bill said it's called white women, but yes, we have a linked evolutionary trajectory.
Oh, it's called white
not
women.
it's not Asiatics, it's not Europeans, it's not Native Americans. Everybody domesticated dogs. You dipshit.
Falcons, and even the occasional black bear.
There were no
Did you just say they domesticated black bears?
Complete nonsense.
Dude, where the fuck are you getting this horseshit from?
No source.
The fucking Native Americans domesticated
ass.
black bears. Dude, get the fuck out of here.
From his ass. Because I looked that up, by the way. I looked that up, Spoon. I looked it up. I cannot find a single fucking source ever that shows that Native Americans domesticated black bears. I cannot find it because you know what, Gregory? It doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah, that is
It
100%
doesn't
wrong, yeah.
fucking exist. Native Americans did not domesticate black bears. You absolute dingus. It never happened. You are lying and you're wrong. Native Americans never fucking domesticated black bears.
How the fuck would you even domesticate a black bear?
I don't know, but what the fuck is he talking about? It's completely, there's no I couldn't find a single Spoon. I couldn't find a single
What
study.
the fuck you think they are, like the dwarves in World of Warcraft?
I couldn't find a single piece of research to back that. I searched all day, by the way. Couldn't find a single piece of research to back that up. Because guess what, Greg? It's wrong. I don't know what weird fucking leftist source you looked up to find that shit, or you just made it up off the top of your head, but it's incorrect. It is wrong. It's fucked. It's stupid. Oh, what a stupid fucking moron.
Pigs or chickens to share diseases with, so Native Americans were incredibly vulnerable and susceptible to disease.
If anything, you're making an argument that Europeans should have just left the natives alone.
Native Americans were incredibly vulnerable and susceptible to disease. Again, not because of any genetic inferiority, but because of their difficult starting location.
Oh my god, you have to stop
Go ahead and get mad, Greg. Go ahead and get mad. But a fucking reality, but go ahead.
that.
Go off,
Again,
King.
you're just implying that the Aboriginals should have to want to be part of the world stage. That they should
That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
You should calm
They
down.
did not. I'm sorry, I'm getting real mad.
Yes, and I don't know why.
Really fun. Because I hate this, Spoon, because I hate this.
Okay, so there's no reason for you to get emotional about it. You don't see me getting upset.
True.
It's because you're a woman.
I know.
And I, as a man, and I have a penis,
Grog.
therefore I am compelled to remain more stoic. Oh, that's also because I can stone face like a fucking godlike champ.
But Grog, what the fuck are you doing? You're being such a fucking lunatic.
Also, he stole my attire.
I know, Bill. I know.
What did Bill say?
What the? He said glass houses, darling.
He's right.
But what the fuck are you doing, dude?
have
What the
to
fuck are
want
you
to
doing?
compete on the same
so
level as
insane.
Europeans. That the Aboriginal
Okay, so now they're not as good as the Europeans because they're being forced to compete on the same level and they lost. Interesting.
should have to want to be technologically equal to the rest of the world.
This is literally the argument that you can't leave people alone.
But they didn't do that. The whole thing here is
The
that,
tribes didn't even fucking leave each other alone.
Exactly. The whole claim here is that the problem with the Europeans being involved in the Americas is that they brought in their diseases, which they did, which is correct. And yet somehow we should have predicted that when we didn't even know what germs were. Excuse me, Greg. When this was happening, we did not even know what germs were.
Yeah, I don't think the
So
Spanish
what the
conquistadors
fuck
deliberately
what
brought
the
over the disease
fuck?
to kill the natives.
But in his perspective, yes, that's why they did it. They did it on purpose to like,
No,
just
it's
because
Power
they
Rangers.
hate. No, come on. This is ridiculous. It's absurdist. It's insane.
This is bigoted. You're
shut the fuck up.
being bigoted. And
No, we're not.
this is why someone like Knowing Better would want to defend Columbus.
Why? Because it's based in the buildings of badass?
But he's not defending Columbus. He's actually not defending Columbus in this video. He's giving a lot of harsh criticism of Columbus.
He's not really.
So I don't think this is. He is giving some criticism of.
He's
Columbus
not giving any
in
criticism of
this.
Columbus. He's just
Maybe.
saying why this happened.
Yes.
Because
But I
they
think that is
agree
in
with the
part a
premise that Europe was right to bully the Aboriginal.
No one fucking said that, you dumbass. Now I'm gonna get upset. 'Cause I don't like this
I
fucking.
know.
I hate people who infer shit when no one fucking said this. He just
Now
said,
you're mad.
"This is what happens. The weaker civilization gets conquered by the superior one." That's how literally all fucking civilizations in all of human history are developed. I don't know if you've noticed this, but your own fucking government in America does the same thing with other smaller fucking countries. They bully them. So
I know.
shut up and don't
Exactly.
fucking tell me like this is not happening in the modern day, you dumbass.
I know.
Aboriginal population into being part of the
Pleb.
European vision of the world.
Yes, the same way the Americans bully other fucking people to be part of the American fucking empire.
This is why
Yeah.
Knowing Better doesn't address what the native population's opinion of colonization was.
Don't care, they got conquered, now fucking deal with it, princess.
Who cares?
Because he's assuming the premise that
No, you are making a premise and
whoa,
assuming he's
whoa,
doing it.
Whoa. Yeah, again. Okay. Couple of things to bring up.
He does
again.
this with almost every single fucking sentence. Like, this is
This
what
is-
he's
this is a
saying, this is
video.
what he's saying, this is what he's presuming.
This
No,
is
that's what
he's
you're
saying.
assuming.
This is what precisely, Spoon.
You're
He
strawmanning the
is
shit out of this dude.
engaging- It's not strawmanning. It's
It's kind of
solipsism.
strawmanning.
This is complete and utter solipsistic nonsense. Greg, you can't just say that you know what someone else thinks from a video that they removed from 6 years ago. That's lunacy. You can't do that. You have no idea
Yeah.
what this man actually thinks of.
Y'all is right. They were
don't
being
know.
mean bullies. Guys, stop being mean. That's literally how he thinks of the Spanish.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you don't know what this guy thinks. You just don't. You're being not only solipsistic, but you're judging him from a video that 6
I don't
years
even think
old
he's
that he
judging
has
that. Like, he's
deleted.
he's literally just saying, like, this is what happened.
Yeah,
And then he's saying, like, oh, this is, he's justifying it. He's not justifying
what he
shit.
must
He's
think.
just saying, like, this is what
But no,
happened.
He's saying
He's
that
giving you a
this is
historical
what-
timeline, you fucking pleb.
But he's telling you what the other guy thinks, which is insane.
true.
'Cause he's not inside that guy's head. He doesn't know.
Colonialization is necessarily a good thing.
It is.
That the Eurocentric
You didn't say that, by the way.
mindset deserves.
It's not Eurocentric. It's literally looking at any group that conquers. It's not a Eurocentric one.
But
It's
the other
literally
guy
just the
didn't
better
say
tribe.
that. The other guy didn't
Yes.
say that. He's making all this shit up inside of his own head.
Yes.
Like, you made this shit up, Grog.
To conquer the world.
Based.
This is the most disgusting You're being
Yeah, it is
a
disgusting.
bully.
Since
You're being a fucking
Dumbass.
fabricating dingus, and you made this shit up on this poor dude who did nothing to you.
If I do a
Why
video
are
on
you
this,
doing
if I do a video on this, do I have to do it in his voice?
Oh,
Just to
Spoon,
mock him.
You have to end every
With a vocal
sentence
fry?
with some vocal fry.
Yeah.
that
You're
you
being
know
bigoted.
that I-
No, you're assuming all of his positions and coming off like a jackass.
That I'm a very intellectual person who should be taken seriously. What a dude.
Europeans and Asians had been living in close proximity with animals for centuries, they had built up somewhat of an immunity to animal diseases, like cowpox, chickenpox, and the various swine and avian flus. So on Columbus's second voyage, when smallpox was introduced to the New World, it burned through the entire continent, killing 90% of the Native American population, before they had even heard of a European. This was inevitable and unavoidable.
The smallpox hypothesis was merely one of many different theories levied to explain why the native population was so small when later groups of Europeans arrived on the continent. And most historians don't really take that hypothesis seriously today. Even if you're right,
quick,
all you're really
Lucifer
doing
Goodman
is...
for 20 says, sorry, I was late. Making fun of Chunk was too much fun, but I used to be friends with Adam and Sitch. He is so much up his own ass that it's really
To be fair, there is a
sad.
lot of ass to be up.
Yeah. That's very true. Anyways, I love you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Lucifer the Demon. I'll get the other super chats in a moment. I hit that one because it was a big one. Thank you, Lucifer the Demon.
Apparently, yeah.
demonstrating why Europeans never should have come to the Americas in the first place.
Yes, because they might actually bring some bad shit with the good. Oh, terribly sorry. That's literally how any fucking trade works.
By 1600, 90% of the native population had died. So when the first North American colonists showed up in 1607 and 1620, they found most of the land to be pretty much uninhabited. Pre-Columbian population numbers for North America vary widely, from 50 to 100 million. But everyone pretty much agrees on that 90% disease mortality number, so we're talking about 5 to 10 million people in 1600 spread across the entire continent. Before you go thinking that that's exceptionally bad, remember that 150 years before Columbus, Europe lost 50 to 60% of its population to the Black Plague.
Yep.
Yes, which was brought over by the Asians.
These
And
epidemics
by the
just
way,
kind
like, here's the thing that's crazy about this. For some reason, we're supposed to believe that this is insane in the Americas, and this didn't happen. But we
But the Black
know
Plague?
for a fact that, that's the thing, is that Greg's about to say that there was no plague in the Americas. That's what he's about to say. There was no plague in the Americas.
of happened. This was inevitable and unavoidable.
What he's trying...
if it was something that was brought over, then yes, it is inevitably unavoidable.
Trying to argue here is...
I fucking hate when you start everything with what he's trying to say, what he means, what he's inferring. Like, no, that is what you are inferring.
Yes, stop trying. Thank you, Spoon. Exactly.
Assuming
stop trying to like
fuckwit.
explain what you think this guy is saying, and just what the fuck is this? I've never done this in a
It's
video.
like so disingenuous.
I've never done this in a video. I've never like been like shown someone else's video and then be like, what he
Oh no,
really
Rhodes.
means.
Yeah.
What he
Is
really
that-
means is this.
Columbus couldn't be that bad of a guy because he personally didn't kill 90% of the native population.
Yeah,
When the fuck did he say that?
He didn't say any of that, by the way. What a lunatic. Columbus didn't say any of that. Or, excuse me, the guy defending Columbus, supposedly, didn't say any of that. You made all of that shit up, Gregory. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're out of your
Nation.
fucking mind.
And that is a garbage argument.
No one,
You
it's,
made it up!
it's you made it up! For fuck's sake!
Stop. Then, okay, I'm sorry that your stupid made-up fake argument is stupid, but that's because you made up the stupid fake argument. Then stop debating strawmen, you dingus.
He's pretending that it was simply disease, which was out of his hands. He couldn't...
It's not what he said.
But,
It's
okay,
not what he said.
even if he did
Not
say
what he
that,
said.
that is still
He
true,
didn't
though.
say that, though.
Yeah, but even
It's
if he
not
did,
what he
that's
said.
still true, though. It is out of his
It
hands.
is true, but it's not what he said. It's not what he said. It is true that the vast majority of Native Americans who died after the introduction of Europeans, yes, was because of plague, was because of disease. That's true. That's not what he said, though. That is not what he said. And you made that shit up, you fucking lunatic.
couldn't control that, but the truth is that Columbus and the men under his employ were directly responsible for murdering and killing through capital punishment. But the unfortunate fact that we have...
Armored Skeptic, they didn't know what germs were at the time, you crazy person. They didn't know what germs were. They didn't understand this. And you're blaming them for that. What a crazy thing to say. What a truly, deeply, deeply crazy thing to say, homie. What a deeply crazy thing to say.
To deal with here is that the native population declined rapidly after it was discovered by Columbus. And smallpox was one guess that has never been demonstrated to be true. So it's way more likely that the population declined because Columbus began a precedence of slaughtering natives, separating them from their culture and
Whoa. Provide the evidence for any single one of the claims you've just made. Where's the claims that Christopher Columbus slaughtered natives? You have no evidence of this. You are lying through your fucking teeth. Where is the fucking evidence that Christopher Columbus himself slaughtered natives? No. You have intentionally. This is sick. He's intentionally
When Skeptic, stop debating yourself.
Cross the streams by talking about how native people died because they got sick, and then said just Columbus slaughtered natives. What? Where's the fucking evidence? Oh, you don't have any,
Boomsday makes up a good point. He had like 400 dudes. If he managed to kill 93% of the population, that's kind of impressive. Like, yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah. Oh, Greg, you don't have any. You don't have anything.
No, I don't think he has any evidence. I'd like to know where the fuck he got the idea that the Native Americans domesticated wolves and bears. That's fucking crazy.
This is ludicrous. This is absolutely ludicrous. Greg, you're out of your fucking mind.
Culture in their land and forced them to live in conditions they were not used to. So spin that however you want. But
I mean, you're doing the same thing.
The native population declined directly because of the acts of Columbus and his regime. Period.
His regime? Is Columbus a fucking leader?
Apparently, he's a king. He also killed a bunch of natives intentionally. He went to America.
Quetzalcoatl's is she so good of a fuck that losing her broke Helmet Skeptic this badly?
Apparently, this dude is such a fucking good fuck that Columbus.
Shu is such a good fuck. You can make him lose his brains.
Well, apparently, Columbus is so good at whatever the fuck he was doing. Thank you, Bill, for some sody. You didn't get me any sody tonight? Oh, I need it all.
You're not drinking alcohol, are you?
No, I need sody, though. I don't have any sody. Thank you, Bill.
Sody? Really?
Yes.
Have you tried drinking water?
No, I like sody.
Why don't you drink water?
Gay.
Drink water. Water is not gay, you puff.
Whatever.
Water is life, and so is alcohol.
Yeah. So you assumed things I didn't say.
I assume you drink whiskey or drink alcohol because, yeah, you did. Yes, you did say water is gay. I'm not a homosexual.
If you don't count the 250,000 Taino people that live there already.
Occupied? Someone lives here?
Right, I know this part. He thought he made it to India. What a silly mistake.
Yes, if by silly you mean brutal.
Brutal is not a synonym for silly.
He knows that. He's making a point. Oh my god, you actually are making me defend Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah, because you agree with him.
I'm sorry.
The Taino treated Columbus...
Yeah, because you agree with him. That's... What is this? What is this video? What is this video?
Are you stuck?
Armored Skeptic, you agree with Adam Ruins Everything. That's the truth.
There's like a list of people who legitimately instill with me a kind of violent intent, and he's one of them.
Yeah, Adam Ruins
Everything. Adam Ruins Everything. You just look at his face and go, there's just something about you that just fills me with a rage. And it's not your shitty opinions. It's just like something about your face.
Absolutely fucking everything you have said is in alignment with Adam Ruins Everything. So why are you like trying to tell us that you don't agree with him? Oh, why do you make me agree with Adam Ruins Everything? The reality is that you do, because you agree with his false view of history. And it is a false view of history. Does this make you feel... I really want to know. Does it make him feel better Like make him feel better about his existence.
It's not his hair, it's his puffy fucking jawline. He looks like a woman.
And his crew.
He looks trans,
that's
actually.
what do you think that's what this is, Spin?
Rage bait?
No, that he has a whole bunch, that Armored Skeptic has a whole bunch of like self-hatred, and this is how he compensates for it.
No, no, I don't think it's that.
What do you think this is about?
I think
Why
it's
is he
just
doing
rage baiting because they're cringing gay.
Maybe.
I think you have this thing that you do where you look at like a vast amount of like crazy hypotheticals, and I don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think this is because he hates himself. It's my personal, but I could be wrong.
With the utmost hospitality.
Hug?
On his first trip, he bounced around a few islands, left 40 people to set up a fort, and returned home to report his findings. The king and queen sent him back after only 6 months with the expressed purpose of establishing more permanent settlements. So what did Columbus think when he first saw the natives?
Did enslave and brutalize the nice people he found. There are journal entries literally from him describing the natives being kind and bringing them things, having no knowledge of guns, so they'd be easy to enslave.
This is from Crack. Whatever this video is, I don't know. But it's from fucking Crack, which is like one of the most biased websites on the internet. Cool job, homie. Crack. You really are using Cracked as a source. And I'm sorry, like, I've used all kinds of things as sources, but I always explain why I'm using them as a source if I know that they're not a very trustworthy one. Like I've used Russia Today, for example, and then I've explained after using Russia Today why I use it. But you're just gonna throw Cracked in here without any kind of, and not gonna put any kind of context warning on that. Cool, Greg.
Okay, that is a lot to unpack. But this is something that people bring up all the time.
Oh, that was from the original video.
In his own words and in his own journals, he says this or that. The most common quotes are the ones he shows.
Now we're getting into the slavery and genocide portion of the video.
Oh my god, I can't.
You're gonna want to make sure you're sitting down for this part.
Yeah,
let's start with this one about them making good servants. What do you notice about this quote? How about the fact that it's neither the beginning nor the end of the sentence? There's clearly more to it. So we're gonna have to look it up. And here it is.
Yes.
It appears to me that the people are ingenious and would be good servants, and I am of the opinion that they would very readily become Christians, as they appear to have no religion. They very quickly learn such words as are spoken to them. In full context, the word servant could mean slave, or servant of God, or subject of the crown. When they just cut out the ingenious good servant part, it only means slave. They remove any context and any doubt.
Okay, but look at the context of what he means.
Okay, but look at the context of what these people were doing, Grog. Before you, I just fucking cut you off here. Before you go on your fucking spiel. That's what they meant. Do you not understand what Christians thought about things? Of course you don't, because you're an atheist. So you don't understand what Christians thought about things. When they say good servants of God would have not necessarily meant slave. They did enslave people. Let's not be incorrect about that. They did enslave people. But they might have meant servants of God, which did not mean a slave. Meaning that they could be converted to Christianity. Okay, can you try to figure it out from that perspective? Can you try to? Can you try? You won't try to figure it out from that perspective. Okay, cool.
They appear to have no religion. They very quickly learn such words as are spoken to them. In full context, the word servant could mean slave, or servant of God, or subject of the crown. When they just cut out the ingenious good servant part, it only means slave. They remove any context and any doubt.
Okay, but look at the context of what he means by that. He's not saying, hey, maybe we can convince them of their own free will to choose to work for the crown. He's saying we can make them work for us. He's not implying that there would be any choice involved.
That's solipsistic, Grog. That's solipsistic.
Also, I don't even care even if he did mean that. That's literally how conquer works.
That's how it worked at the time.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, even if he did mean that, that's how it worked at the time, Grog. Sorry that you can't understand. Again, this is fucking presentism.
Yes.
This is presentism, that you are judging somebody from the past from 400 years ago from your current liberal mindset.
Tell me,
And
how
I
do you
don't
think the Iraqis felt when you fucking took out Saddam Hussein? Oh, you get to choose your next governor, but you don't really. But it's no. You get to enforce democracy now upon you because
Yep.
we fucking said so.
I'm gonna enforce the democracy upon you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Involved in this at all. And when he's saying we can convert them to Christianity, he's not saying that they will love to follow the laws of the church. He's saying we can alter their way of life in such a way that they'll no longer be offensive savages in the eyes of our delicate European sensibilities.
Well, if we consider what they were doing versus what the Europeans did, yeah, they are objectively savages. Like, that's just fucking true.
From the Christian perspective, exactly. From the
It's not even a Christian perspective, it's just a human perspective. They were fucking they were doing sacrifices and like weird fucking tribal rituals when they reached adolescence. Like, dude.
Kicking children's fucking skulls down pyramids. So let's not like pretend as if this is
They're
the
morally
thing
good people.
that Pregory is trying to manifest or trying to lie to people about. That the Native Americans were just sitting out in fields and they were just smoking peyote and weed, and they were living happy lives, and there was no violence whatsoever. Actually,
Do you know what I hate about these people?
Yeah,
That's so many
they were all
things.
killing each other.
Something that I hate about these people is that they have this really weird tendency to use the universal man whenever it suits them. Like, oh, look, we should all be equal and be treated equally. And then without missing a beat, they never seem to acknowledge that we are not equal. Which annoys the fuck out of me. Like, okay, so you want like a universal standard, but you don't want anyone to be that fucking standard bearer, but you want everyone to be left alone and somehow be equal. Like, you can't fucking have these things all together.
Yep.
They're contradictory, you dumbass. Fucking pick one.
But no, they have to. They need that.
Fucking hell, it's so... This is why I hate leftists.
They hate God. They hate
It's
God.
not even God. It's just that you don't have any
They do hate
fucking
God.
consistency in your bloody theories because they are
But
contradictory and
do
they make no
hate-
bloody
no,
sense.
No, Spin, you gotta understand how important their hatred of God is to all of this.
They fucking hate anyone who
Their
disagrees
hate-
with them.
Their hatred of God is a key component of all of this. You don't end up with somebody like this if they don't hate God. And why do they hate God? Oh, because they're degenerates and they are ashamed of their own actions. So they have to hate God and do this shit.
Let's see if we get
He's
halfway
literally
to this
saying
video.
we will put them to work and make them subservient to our culture.
Based.
What he's literally saying is that they would be easy to conquer.
No, they were.
Yes, and this is how literally any group wins over another group. Like, you know, the Zulus fucking did this.
Every other Indian nation.
How did
would have thought
how
the
did
same
what did
fucking
who was it
thing.
was it Augustus or was it Caesar who said they're the most ignorant people I've ever conquered of the British?
Oh, that's about the British, yeah.
Yeah.
That I believe that's Caesar, yeah. One of the
Yeah, there you go.
He's telling the king of Spain
swamps.
that they
And by the way,
will
let's
be
put that-
conquered.
You know what? Hang on, pause. You're right. Let's point that out. Let's really highlight that Caesar said that the British were the most ignorant people he had ever conquered. Okay? If you're like getting all upset about like how the West conquered the Native Americans, remember that the British thought that that the Romans thought the British were the most ignorant race they had ever encountered. I'd like to point that out and put that out there. That they were like, they live in a swamp. They go, and when
I came, I saw, I conquered.
they say they lived in the swamp. They go and hide in the swamps. They're a bunch of fucking troglodytes. They're the most ignorant, backwards race on earth. That's what the Romans thought of the Brits. Okay, let's rare Italian dub. But is that? Excuse me. But do you understand why presentism is fucking stupid now? Because from the perspective of Italians in 300 AD, the Brits were the dumbest, most backwards people they had ever encountered. That's by their description, okay? And then the Brits conquer America. So what the fuck does any of this mean? Oh, it's all presentism. It's all stupid and pointless.
The
It's
difference
all
between a republic and an
retarded.
empire is the loyalty of one's army.
True.
Fucking based.
Own words. We have to take them at face value since we can't figure out what he really meant. Right? Do you see where I'm going with this yet? These aren't his own words because his real name wasn't Christopher Columbus. It was Cristoforo Colombo.
No. You can't just say, oh, he spoke old world Spanish or Italian or some
I mean, you can. That's the
First of all, let me be really
to.
clear about this. Greg, why can't you even spend a couple of seconds to figure out where Christopher Columbus is from?
Because it would
You
ruin
can't
his
even
point.
spend a couple of seconds. Can't even spend a couple of seconds to figure that out. And I'm supposed to like believe anything else in your video when you're like, oh, Spanish or Italian or something. I don't believe anything else you're ever. I didn't believe anything you said so far because it's all been wrong. But I won't believe anything you say after this because you have proven that you are unwilling to spend a few seconds to understand where Christopher Columbus was from. What a fucking lunatic.
and then that means we don't actually know what he meant because context is different. All we have to do is match the words he said with the actions he performed. We can tell what he meant based on what he did after he said those words. And history recorded what he did. So there's no mystery. We can't play like mystery word game here. Columbus made it very clear what he meant with his actions.
Here's what we're looking
in
for
what?
from October 11, 1492. Now we have to translate it. Let's just shove it into Google Translate and see what we get. They must be good servants and of good wit that I see that very quickly he says everything he told them, blah blah.
Are you f***ing kidding me with this shit? This is like the laziest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, don't call other people lazy. You fucking loon. Okay, I have a whole bunch of things I need to say. Fuck you, first of all. What would you want him to? You want him to be an Italian scholar? That he can't speak this? Fuck. Actually, Christopher Columbus is Spanish. What the fuck, though, dude?
In my life, Google Translate can't decipher old world colloquialisms and euphemisms.
It takes some linguistic gymnastics to get from they must be good servants.
But can you, Gregory? Can you translate old world Spanish? Oh, you can't? Oh, so this is all a pointless tangent? What a fucking surprise.
And of good wit to the people are ingenious and would be good servants. They pick the absolute worst, most biased translation to quote as journal entries literally from him.
This straight up just doesn't even deserve a response.
There is another one people like to refer to. I could
Columbus is
conquer the whole
Genoese.
of them with 50 men and
Actually, guys, was Columbus's writings, would they have been in Spanish or in Italian? Because he was funded by the Spanish crown, as far as I'm aware. And I only know that because of my favorite movie. Do you know, Spoon? Was Christopher Columbus funded by the Spanish or the Italian?
It was probably funded by the Spanish.
I think he was funded by the Spanish crown. Have you ever seen my favorite movie? I have 3 favorite movies. I don't watch most of them because they're all very, very depressing.
That seems not at all surprising for you.
Yeah. But one of my favorite movies is The Fountain, which is about Columbus, sort of. Actually, if you guys want to watch The Fountain afterwards, we'll watch it on the. I think we watched it before on the.
You want after this stream?
I'll watch it with people if they want to.
Fuck it, when are you playing the stream on ending?
Hopefully soon. But after
Hopefully
we finish
soon.
this
It's
fucking
half.
video-
It took us
I
what,
know.
like 2.5 hours?
No, we got another 30 minutes, so we had to start early. But if you guys would like to watch The Fountain with me, it's one of my
7:30. It's now 10:30. It took you
it's
3
one of my
hours to do 2.
I love The Fountain.
So
much.
you want to watch a
I
movie
love
at
it.
1 o'clock in the morning?
I love it. Have you never seen it?
Fucking good luck to you, woman.
Spoon, have you never seen The Fountain?
You have never seen any of my favorite movies.
But Spoon, have you seen The Fountain?
No.
I'm asking. You must watch The
You
Fountain.
have never seen Scarface.
I have not.
You've never seen
watch-
Scarface, Goodfellas, Casino, or The Godfather.
But you should watch The Fountain.
How have you not seen those 4 movies? Have you seen Die Hard?
The Fountain is not a crap film, Bill. The Fountain is the best movie ever.
No, it fucking isn't.
It's in my top 3. It's in my top 3. It's one of the most.
Bill is judging you, and therefore I will go by his opinion.
It stars Wolverine.
Are you Hugh Jackman?
Huge. No, I called him Wolverine on purpose, Bill. Yes, I know his name is Hugh Jackman, but yes, it stars Hugh Jackman, and it's one of the most brilliant. I mean, you're gonna like if you don't cry at The Fountain, I think
I don't cry at movies because I'm not gay.
There's something Bill, that's okay. There's something emotionally wrong with you. It's fine.
No, Bill is a normal man.
Okay, I think men not crying at it is normal. But if you're a woman and you watch The Fountain and you don't cry, you're fucked up. Anywho.
It means I'll find you
Govern them
attractive.
as I please. Here's the Spanish, and here's what Google Translate says. Because with 50 men, they are all subjugated, and it will make them do everything they want? Okay, that ending doesn't really make all that much sense, but I can tell you what it doesn't say. Conquer them and govern them as I please.
This may very well be the dumbest thing I've ever responded to. It's
this is the
up there.
dumbest thing I've ever responded to, so okay, Grog.
It's up there, man.
But just to be sure, let's look at a different translation of the same quote. For with 50 men, they can all be subjugated and made to do what is required of them. The words conquer or govern don't appear here either. Again, they picked the worst possible translation to highlight.
Are you f***ing kidding me? This is your positive example?
Yes, because it's from a personal fucking report. Are you out of your mind? This is from the personal fucking report of Christopher Columbus, you ding-dong.
He's saying all I need is 50 men to subjugate them and make them do what is.
And that was typical at the time. Get your presentism bullshit out of your brain. How are you this stupid?
Is required of them. Make them do. Make them means force them. And just think about it. Why do you need.
Make them is typical as of the time. Again, I'm not excusing this, but I'm saying that
are you telling me
the
tribes who are trying to fight them wouldn't do the exact same fucking thing if they had the names?
Yeah, they just killed them. They just kill them. All right, they just kill them. Oh no! Oh, how dare the Europeans
do what the natives fucking do,
rather than fucking slice their throats. Weird, right?
Need 50 men for this if they're choosing to be subjects. Why do you need 50 men if they are choosing to be part of Europe? Because it's not a choice. 50 men have swords and muskets.
No shit. You out of your mind. No shit. Obviously.
Well, that's what subjugated kind of goes hand in hand with.
What kind of weird world do you think you're living in? Like, this is bizarre. This is
the
so
weird
insane.
world where everyone holds hands and sing Kumbaya. Do you know why Age of Empires? Do you know why Age of Empires is a game?
Kumbaya.
Because Age of Empires was an Age of Empires where the empires fought each other.
Oof.
Fucking idiot.
Did you hear that?
No, I did not.
He said we should take lessons on coexistence from someone who couldn't coexist. Shu. I mean, I love Shu. Shu. Here's the thing. First of all, okay, a couple things about Shu. Shu is one of the sweetest people. One of the sweetest, most kind human beings.
But that's like an insult to him. Is because he's saying that you couldn't even coexist with Shu, and she was nice.
Yes, exactly. He couldn't coexist with Shu, and Shu is one of those kind, sweet human beings I have ever met in my entire life that I've ever interacted with. And he couldn't interact with her. Come on, come on, Skeptic. Like, you're fucked.
50 men with whips and paddles. If anything, the example that you're using as positive makes it even more clear that they're meant to be slaves.
In full context, in this section, Columbus is asking the king and
He keeps bringing up this exact same fucking quote. But stupid.
Queen what they want done with the natives, suggesting that 50 men would be all that's required to hold the island.
Yeah, He's asking the king and queen because they're the king and queen. You don't tell the king and queen what
No
to do.
shit.
You ask them if this is what they want.
None of Columbus's original journals survive. All we have are transcriptions of his journal written by
Isn't
someone
that
who's
kind of
probably
important,
already been
Grog?
mentioned in the comments below. Bartolome de las Casas. Bartolome de las Casas was a noble who...
Grog, isn't it kind of important that we don't actually have any fucking idea what Columbus's original journals said? They were transcriptions from transcriptions from transcriptions, so we don't fucking know. But go ahead, go off, King.
was given an encomienda in the New World. Encomienda was the Spanish feudal system of lords and peasants. And that's what the natives were. Peasants, not slaves. Columbus wanted to subjugate them, which means turn them into subjects of the crown, not enslave them. They were forced to work against their will, but nobody owned them.
Spoon, I'm about to have a fucking meltdown. I have to let Grog say what he's gonna say,
Okay.
but I'm about to have a fucking meltdown. I'm about to lose my mind. I'm gonna go pee. Spoon, you do this because I know what he's about to say here, and it makes me.
I haven't gotten this far in the
fucking
video, so this is new to me.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Well, welcome to where we come into the monarchy debate, and I'm about to get fucking pissed. So,
Okay.
enjoy this. Fucking enjoy it. I'm gonna go pee. Go take. Just enjoy it. I hate this. I hate this. Enjoy it.
What am I listening to?
They were forced to work against their will. They were forced to work against their will. They were forced to work against their will, but nobody owned them.
You're just playing stupid word games to try to win your point on a technicality.
I mean, that's technically what you're doing as well, by the way.
You spent like 5 minutes trying to say that subjects doesn't mean subjugated. And
Yes, because if you were subject to the crown, that doesn't mean you are owned by the crown.
after all that, you admit that they didn't get a choice.
This is something that people bring up all the time.
Yes, that's how conquering works.
That in his own words and in his own journals, he says this or that. The most common quotes are the ones he shows. I could conquer the whole of them with 50 men and govern them as I please. And here's what
Yeah, I know that it says govern and not rule.
Google Translate says, because with 50 men, they are all subjugated, and it will make them do everything they want? Okay, that ending doesn't really make all that much sense, but I can tell you what it doesn't say. Conquer them and govern them as I please, and they can all be subjugated and made to do what is required of them. The words conquer or govern don't appear here either. Columbus wanted to subjugate them, which means turn them into subjects of the crown, not enslave them. They were forced to work against their will.
Servants under the feudal system is...
Yeah, like everybody was, because that was the current system at the time. This is, like I said, presentism to a degree that I have never seen before. Spoon, on it, I had to walk away for a moment, obviously, but on a scale from 1 to Henry VIII, how fucking stupid was that?
Well, he's only said one thing, so I'm assuming it's going to get worse.
Oh, if you're not, okay, maybe it hasn't gotten that bad.
Yeah,
is
so I don't really
worse
know.
than slaves. Because the very fact that a slave is considered property means that a slave has some level of rights and protections.
I mean, the protection is you don't
You
want
get
to
it?
kill them because they're working for you.
He's. I want to reiterate
That's
what
going completely over
Greg,
his head.
what Greg just said. He said slaves had a better life than people under feudalism.
Did you actually say that?
Just wanna, yes, he did.
But
I'm gonna go back and play it again so you can really hear
Okay,
it,
that ending
guys.
doesn't really make all that
Greg
much sense, but I
said
can tell you
that
what it doesn't say.
slaves
Conquer
had
them
a
and
better
govern them as I
life
please, and they
than
can all be
feudal
subjugated and made to do what is
peasants.
required of them. The words conquer or govern don't appear here either. Columbus wanted to subjugate them, which means turn them into subjects of the crown, not enslave them. They were forced to work against their will.
Servants under the feudal system is worse than slaves.
Yep, there it was. Being a feudal peasant is worse than being a slave.
Yeah, that's not true.
His claim. It's an insane claim, by the way. Being a feudal let's talk about it. Being a feudal servant did not mean what do you think Gregory thinks that means? I don't know. But
I don't
he
think he
thinks
knows.
that that being a feudal servant is worse than being a slave. Now, let's talk about what being a feudal servant is, right? The king gives you the land. He's loaning it to you, right? For you to operate on, to work. For you to produce whatever you're going to produce on. You are required to pay the king back for the use of his land. Is this slavery? Maybe. I would say maybe. I don't know that for sure. What do you think, Spoon? Is it slavery to have a feudal system in which someone is borrowing your land, you as the feudal lord, as the king, or whatever it is, the lord of a certain land, you own the land and you're leveraging it, you are loaning it to people to be able for them to work it, to be able to produce. Is that slavery?
It basically sounds like any job.
Sounds like a job too. I don't think it. If you think that current jobs are slavery, then there you go. I suppose there it is.
Because it's basically to provide you residents to do the job.
But
And then basically we upgraded it from, instead of having this the land owned by the feudal lord, it's owned by the person who owns the company and the tools that you use, and you get paid a salary.
What slavery is. Slavery was. That person had no choice ever.
Yeah, under the king's protection.
They
yeah.
They were owned, but they were owned by a certain person to work the land, right? They were not allowed. They couldn't leave under any circumstances because they were owned by a master. Is it? I think we need to also draw back.
Have you seen some of the houses that the so-called feudal serfs lived in? You're like, holy fuck, that thing's huge.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying that we need. I think
some of them look amazing.
I think we have to draw back how extreme slavery was. It was one of the most, if not the most.
Yeah, and the king guarantees you protection.
As a libertarian, it's libertarian. It was probably the most extremely disgusting system that's ever existed in the entirety of human history, in my opinion. However, it wasn't whites who invented it. It wasn't whites who perpetuated it. It was whites who it was all
of fucking human history.
All of humans did it. I do, as a libertarian, again, I find slavery to be probably the most sickening, besides child predation. Child predation is above slavery, in my opinion, in terms of sickening things that humans have done and do engage in. But what the fuck is he talking about? This is not slavery. He is not talking about slavery, and even if he is, he's talking about a system that was actually a long-standing institution. And what I don't want to say that slavery was a good system. And feudalism was excuse me, what? Like, you don't want to be able to have the capacity to make money to be able to survive by earning money for your lord, who has given you the land. It is the landlordism system. And if you have a problem, okay, let's be real. If you have a problem with current landlordism systems, then and you hate feudalism, then we can have a conversation. And you hate both of them? I don't think Gregory does. I think probably Gregory rents his fucking home. I don't know, but just a guess. He probably does. Probably he does. I don't know.
Yeah, feudalism is basically run by landlords.
Serfdom was an extreme feudalistic and landlordistic system. If you don't like it, that's fine. I think it's fine to disagree with that system. But this Greg is an insane, is it lunacy kind of fucking manifestation or correlation that you're making. You're making a crazy correlation between things that have nothing to do with each other, because you don't like a certain thing that happened in the past, so you have to, because of course you have to, correlate it with slavery. That's ludicrous, Greg. That is ludicrous. I don't agree with the by the way, current, what I would consider is a sort of modern day slavery under the landlord system. But what the fuck are you talking about? You're out of your mind.
Because the very fact that a slave is considered property means that a slave has some level of right.
Oh, it's the thing that's crazy. You're considered property, by the way. If you are a fucking person who rents a house, you're considered property because you are renting property. You are considered a piece of property right the fuck now, Greg. How do you not get this? This is not ended. It's a perpetual system of human ownership. I think it's sickening, but it's not ended.
Also, if you think the serf is worse than the slave, and the slave has some rights, I don't know by what fucking standard you seem to think that. How does the serfs work?
I mean, it's insane, right? First
That
of all,
doesn't make any sense to me. If you tell me the serfs are worse off than the slaves,
all of this is ridiculous. All of this is ridiculous. All of it, by the way, in my opinion, and you can tell me I'm wrong, all of it's slavery. It is not to the same degree, though. I think all of it's slavery, but it is not to the same degree. How the fuck can you compare? How the fuck?
You can't, it's madness.
Can you compare an actual slave, someone who has zero rights, to someone who is being treated as a slave under the current system? And they're both slaves, by the way. I think that's true to a certain degree. But an actual slave, someone who has zero rights, who is being forced to work against their will. That these are different things, Greg. That I don't get how do you not figure out, though, that they're related things? They are different, but they are related. How do you not get that? And to me, that's so sickening. And the idea that you don't understand that serfdom under a monarch is also different is sickening. That you can't figure this out, homie. What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm sorry. What is wrong with you? I think there's something wrong with your brain. There's something wrong with your brain.
Rights and protections, but a land servant under the feudal system has none. They're considered a part of the property.
No one had rights before the Magna Carta, dingus. What are you talking about? Nobody had rights before the Magna Carta. What are you talking about? What fucking stupid shit? Nobody had rights before the Magna Carta.
Meaning the property owner can hurt them and kill them and work them to.
And why would they do that, Greg? Why would they do that? Why would they intentionally fucking hurt and harm their worker? That makes no sense. Were the people who did that? Yes, absolutely. That's unquestionable. But why would the owner do that? They would not be incentivized to do that. This is so stupid. It's so dumb. Greg, you're so stupid. Idiot. Holy fuck.
Death, and he receives no punishment. So it would be more accurate to.
Yes, he does receive a punishment. He receives the punishment in the form of losing his fucking property. And I know that describing human beings as property is disgusting, and it makes us feel very, very sick. As you know, from our modern perspective, again, this is an issue of presentism, but that's not the way they would have proceeded it in the past. And but try to be clear, why would they have destroyed their property on purpose? Why would they do that? Let's talk about it from that perspective. Why would they have intentionally destroyed their fucking property? They would never have done that unless they were insane. There were insane people, but they would not have most of them would not have destroyed their property, Greg. What? Spoon, I feel like I'm losing my mind. How is this that confusing to people? Like, why? You have a bunch of toys, right? You have a bunch of toys. Why would you destroy your toys? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You wouldn't do that, would you?
That's to show off.
But you wouldn't if you need your toys in order to be able to make yourself money, would you? If you need these toys to make yourself money, I'm using a very childish example on purpose. I'm not saying that people are toys. I'm using a childish example to try and make money. Why would you kill Woody, right? If Woody makes you money, you wouldn't, would you?
No.
Obviously. This is so stupid. It's this modernistic presentism perspective that doesn't understand. And I am not in any way defending slavery. I spent a very long time right before this saying why I think slavery is sickening. This is why it happened. Just stop living in this presentism bullshit fucking perspective, you dingus.
To compare their working conditions to that of a labor camp or a concentration camp. This is why I say that people that defend Columbus are heartless monsters.
And you're an idiot.
The Aboriginals were a conquered people who were forced to work themselves to death.
And they weren't forced to work themselves to death. By the way, that's completely incorrect. This is a complete nonsense fucking statement. They were not forced to work themselves to death. The Europeans were not incentivized to kill the Aboriginals, as I just fucking described. Did they do horrible crime to the Aboriginal people of America? Yes, absolutely. Did they work them to death because it was funny to them? Absolutely not. The idea that that's the truth is so absolutely patently fucking absurdist that I don't even know where to fucking start with it. Armored Skeptic, you're a dingus. They did not. You think they just killed these people for funsies? Don't you understand the value of human? Do you understand why slavery was the thing? Slavery was a thing because there was a premium on human labor. You get that? You get that a little bit? You don't want to kill people that you want to put to work on your shit. I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying that's the reality. So, sorry, get it through your head, homie. What the fuck?
Against their will. It's irrelevant if anyone owned them.
In 1515, Las Casas gave up his encomienda and advocated instead for the use of African slaves. That's right, the protector of the natives, as he would later be called, advocated for the transatlantic slave trade, which then started under Nicolas de Ovando, not Columbus.
Yeah, two reasons for that. One, because African slaves already had built up immunities to most European diseases, so they'd die less often. And two, the transatlantic slave trade became an industry. He was lost.
Industry. Spin, do you hate this as much as I do? Spin.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Do you hate this as much as I do? In terms of the, like, industry.
The vocal fry speech pattern?
I have a lot of vocal fry. Now,
it's more the condescension that bugs me.
It's the condescension that's frustrating. But, Dr. Drew has always said that the vocal fry is evidence of someone who has been molested. So I don't know if Gregory's been molested, but what the fuck could you please stop?
Well, so far he's fucking himself.
True. Now, in terms of, like, this particular contention that he's making, that, it's the same thing I already said. It is slavery wrong? Duh. Obviously. But there were reasons why it was happening. It doesn't make it right. It was a thing that happened in the past that now we in the future can judge and say that was wrong. But judging the present from the past is ridiculous. You can't do it. You just can't. Because there
judging
were
the other
a lot
way
of
around.
reasons why it happened. Well, right. Judge the past from the future, I suppose.
No. Judging the present from the past is the insane part.
Oh, true.
That's
true.
You flipped that around. That's what I'm saying. No.
Yeah,
opposite.
I did flip it around. My bad. Judging the present from the judging the past from
with the present,
present
is stupid as hell.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense.
You do this 50 years from now, they're going to look at Russia and Ukraine and America. They're going to go, what the fucking hell were the Americans smoking? They were stupid as shit.
Exactly. Because it's in the eye of the beholder. And so, like, yes, of course, Gregory, for whatever reason, is trying to judge the past from his perspective as a modern liberal position.
Which is dumb as fuck.
Absolutely silly. Greg, it's just stupid to judge the entirety
It also makes you look like a
of
moron.
history. Just make
And
you
a
look
cult.
moron.
It makes you look like
Completely
a
cultist,
cultist.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Like this to me is
It's
something
stupid,
anyone
Greg.
who analyzes politics should do. If you can't conceptualize that people of the past have a different perspective of morality and a way of life than you, don't fucking talk about politics because you're too stupid.
Yeah,
Seriously,
time to shut
don't.
up.
Yeah, just shut up.
Seriously, yeah, exactly. Time to shut up. Time to be quiet because you can't. Because you have some kind of fundamental issue within your brain that makes you incapable of understanding reality. So, sorry, can't help you, homie. But whatever.
Lobbying to begin an industry, meaning people would make money off of the selling and trading of slaves. He's a real freaking hero. This is the point in the discussion where it becomes relevant that over 90% of the native population had died off, when they could no longer...
They had died off before that, though, Gregory, hadn't they? They had died off before that, had they not? There had been a massive die-off within the Native American population before this, had they not, Gregory?
Also,
Why would you not describe this?
You asked me, is there a mixer?
Insane. Yeah?
On what?
Mixer on what?
You said, is there a mixer?
Oh, I don't know. I'll read these super chats.
No, you said a mixer on Discord.
Oh, what did I say? I don't know what I meant by that, honestly. Sorry. I don't actually know what I meant by that.
The audio-wise?
Oh, probably the audio, yeah. The audio.
Yeah, there is on my end.
Okay, cool.
But the thing of it is, you won't hear it unless you listen back to the stream. So you're not hearing the mixture from my end. Yeah, it's meant to boost my audio.
I'm going to read a couple of super chats. I have quite a few actually backed up now. Best description I read.
Is Spoon drunk? No, I'm not drunk, you peasant fucker.
If
I was drunk, you would know.
5 says the best description of. Oh, I read that one. Cole Summers for 2 says he can because he's a Canadian. True, that's what he thinks, right? Lance for 5 says, so I assume Armored Skeptic is going back to Europe then. No, he's not. He's a Canadian. Binary Eclipse for A5 says, why is this dude talking like that his batteries are low? Oh, well, don't you understand?
Because he's trying to sound sophisticated and condescending and talking in this weird way.
Losing your batteries and this is how you have to end every sentence.
Crystal Pepsi.
Very much like you are dying. That's just the way to do it. Lucifer the Deadman for 20 Canadian says, sorry I'm late. Hey Lucifer, thanks for showing up. Making fun of
I was
Chunk
never
was
drunk.
Too much fun. But he was a friend. But I used to be friend with Adam and Sitch. So he is so up his own ass, and it is really sad. Anyways, love you guys. Keep up the good work.
You read
Thank
that.
you for showing up, Lucifer. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Maybe I did. Or did I?
Yes, you
Lance
did.
for 5 says, any mention can't or won't defend people on holdings is not going to defend the test of time. They thus sensibly lost. Yeah, that's very true. We are losing as a collective species, I suppose. Finn for 2 says, dear Armored Skeptic, stop debating yourself. Good question. Good point, also. A Slosher for 5 Canadian says, I haven't seen the new Predator movie, but I think that the Predator only kills a few dozen natives. Yeah, like he hunts natives in the new movie. It's like in the past, right? With Indians. I guess Columbus is way more badass. According to this dude, apparently, Columbus is way more of a fucking murderer than Columbus. Or Columbus is more of a murderer than the Predator, excuse me. Dreadnought for 5 says, I've never understood this obsession of women with movies that should make us cry. I like movies that make me happy, explosions, guns, etc. That's true, but I gotta tell you, Dreadnought, I like a movie that makes me cry. I'm sorry.
Bitch.
I enjoy it. So you know, in the Greek sense, we would call that catharsis.
A tragedy?
Right? No, it's catharsis.
Tragedy.
It's catharsis. It's catharsis.
Tragedy.
When you cry at the end of a play, right? The Greeks would call it
Tragedy.
catharsis, and I believe that's yes, it is a
Tragedy, yes. Crying
I
is
would like
gay.
people to watch my favorite movie with me. Cole
You
Summers
have
for two
weird
says
taste in movies.
he thinks they would have brought California healthcare. Yeah, probably. Binary Eclipse for 5A says Armored Skeptic should hold a seance so he can argue with Columbus. Oh, he fucking should. Slosher for 10
Does
Canadian
he speak
says,
Spanish?
you know, yo hablo pequeño español, but
Him,
I
not
don't fucking
you.
know about this. Más pequeño, más pequeño, más que hablas. You know what? That's not right. That was phrased wrong. Actually, I was talking to a Japanese person last night, and I realized my fucking Japanese is wrong. I was like, oh shit, my fucking Japanese is wrong. Because of course it is, because I haven't spoken Japanese in 10 years. And it's crazy that I just haven't spoken Japanase. Anywho, Slosh over 10 says Canada is a constitutional monarchy and almost all that belongs to the crown. It sure does.
Should have more of it to the crown.
If I don't pay property taxes, I lose my house. Of course you do. Crazy, right? By Greg's logic, I'm a slave renting the land. Very, 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 very astute. Very astute, Slosher. Very astute, Slosher. And then Dreadnought for 5 says, I don't know what this dingus is on about. We don't have rates now. Say something the government doesn't like, and they'll come in and shoot you. Absolutely. Let's get back into this stupid video. But Slosher is completely correct on that as a Canadian. I'm so sorry, Slosher. Bad.
Feasibly
bad.
use them as
Canada's
slave
bad.
labor. He didn't propose this because he gives a f about the Aboriginals. Because if you look at what actually functionally happened during this time, the Europeans were replacing native slaves with African slaves. This wasn't done to save Aboriginals. This was done to repopulate their numbers with an outside labor force. This
Or could it possibly be because the arms trade is what is essentially what became part of the slave trade? It became an arms race.
Yeah, weird, right? Weird how that happened.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the hypothesis that I've seen is either the slavery made the arms trades valuable or the other way around. Is that the fact that the natives of Africa would round up other people and then bring to the fucking coastline, which is where the fucking the Europeans went. Because
I'm not sorry that you'll lose your house,
Europeans-
Slosher. I'm sorry that you're Canadian. That's what we're sorry about. Also, we're sorry that you're Canadian. That's what we're apologizing for.
Yes.
Slosher.
Yes, and then the natives.
Oh my god.
And then the natives would come to the fucking coast and sell the freaking they rounded up. Like the fucking Europeans didn't go to Africa and then go into the woods and fucking round up slaves, for God's sakes. That's not how that happened.
Also, I've been told mi español es muy pequeño también. Oh, so the show. Okay, that's cool.
We have Spanish people in the chat.
Yeah. Well, Ramo Grey Wolf.
Do you have any South
told
Africans?
me-
I'm assuming not. It's probably quite late.
Nobody. But you don't. Do you speak any Spanish or any Japanese?
Why the fuck would I speak those two barbaric languages?
I don't know. What a fucking... How dare you? How dare you? I actually think... I wish I spoke more Spanish. I wish my Spanish was better. It's shit.
Oh.
My Japanese is also shit now.
Nie,
at
jak
this
praat
point,
Spaans, ik
as
praat
I've-
Afrikaans.
It served as yet another way that the Europeans took the natives' land away from them, further delegitimizing the Aboriginals' claim to the American land.
So that's literally blood and soil.
Yeah,
That is literally blood and soil.
He's legit making a fucking blood and soil fucking argument. Thank you, Grog.
Oh, that's
Thank
interesting.
you,
Okay.
Grog.
Yeah.
Thank you,
The
Grog,
claim to the
for
land
making a
based
blood
on
and
fucking
soil
what?
fucking argument.
Conquest
Thank
and
you for-
conquer is literally how they make claim to the
Dude,
fucking land. And Europeans do the
let's not-
exact same thing, and now you bitch
Yes.
about it.
Let's
Fuck
not.
out of here, you hypocrite.
We cannot let this go. Grog just made a fucking blood and soil argument that because you're from a land, you own the land, and your race owns the land. What the fuck kind of argument is that, Grog? Oh, that's a blood and soil argument. Thank you so much.
So, but that logic,
That's
was the Roman Empire
crazy.
bad for conquering the English?
Does
that mean the
by that
modern day
argument-
descendants of Britain should be paid reparations to by the Italian government?
I think so. But he would never make that argument. Of course
No,
he
'cause
wouldn't.
it's
Of course he
stupid.
wouldn't. Because he's out of his mind. Because this argument is stupid.
Further removing their sovereignty from their territory.
Again, blood and soil argument.
Yeah, blood and soil, blood and soil. I
Fuck
can't. Actually, Swin, I'm shocked he made a blood and soil argument. I'm shocked. But of course, well, I guess I'm not shocked.
Yeah, the blood and
But-
soil works
but-
for the
but-
original, but not for the people of Europe.
Yes, not for Europeans,
Mm.
only for indigenous people of America, not for the indigenous people of Europe. Isn't that weird?
You know what-
indige-
you know-
let-
you-
let's be clear.
do you
I
know-
want to be really clear. He keeps using the word indigenous. Who is indigenous to the British Isles?
The English.
It's not true, but fine, they're close enough.
Saxons.
The Saxons, the Normans.
Yes.
But they're white people. Let's put it that way.
Europeans, yes.
Right? White people are indigenous to the British Isles. That's an incontrovertible fact.
Do you know what I find
He's
funny?
like, Greg is saying here that you should give money to people who are natives if they've been conquered in any way. Well, who's been conquered in the British Isles? A whole bunch of different groups of white people, by the way. Whole
Yeah.
bunch of different groups.
The
What
Irish.
ludicrous shit. The Irish. So are we supposed to give reparations to the Irish? And we would never say this.
Yeah,
It's
Matt for
so
songs. I've often
stupid.
wondered, like, how long does the original broader
Yes.
timeline come?
Because they don't give a damn.
Yes, and also just out
They
of
don't
curiosity.
really care about this. It's all fake, Spoon. That's why it's all
And
fake.
also, just out of curiosity, if I were to take a look at the Zulus, for example, the Zulus were part of a smaller tribe and they enlarged their tribe through fucking conquer and conquest. And then the Dutch and the English showed up and kicked the shit out of them. Just out of curiosity, if the Zulus wiped out the fucking Bantus and all the other groups that were there prior, okay, and now they lay claim to the territory through conquest and conquer, why the fucking hell do you suddenly go up in a tizzy when the fucking Europeans do the exact same fucking thing the natives were doing to
Oh,
them
hold
prior
on, hold
before
on,
the
hey.
fucking Europeans showed up?
Exactly, right? Dude,
Like, just
it's
piss
fucking
off. It's one
insane.
group is better than the other, and they were clearly superior in
That-
arms
that's
and
what- but that's what-
intelligence and numbers.
That-
Fuck off.
But that's what it's about. But that's what it's about. They would never say. They wouldn't. Could you even fucking fathom?
The fucking Zulus were using shields made of leather in the fucking 1800s, whereas Europe were making them full of like freaking iron over 800 years ago. They are clearly intellectually superior.
But could you fathom? Because this would be the content for the current Brits, for some faction of them to say no. We need to have representation because we were conquered 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's stupid as shit.
It's absolutely fucking stupid. It's the dumbest shit I've ever. As a Welshoid, it's the stupidest
Yeah.
fucking shit
With
I've
your
ever.
tiny skull.
Making fun of my tiny skull. As a Welshoid, though,
I can crush it with one
as
hand.
someone. Oh no shit!
so can Bill.
Everyone could.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you're tiny.
Everyone can. Everyone can crush my tiny skull. As a Welshoid, though, and as someone who actually like really cares about my history as a Welsh person, my grandmother was from Wales. It does matter to me. The Welsh language matters to me. It does. It's I think it's like 8% of Wales actually is capable of speaking Welsh. It's almost nobody in the big scheme of things. Well, Wales functionally was conquered by the English, right? We all know this. It's
Based
not
Saxons.
it's not contested. But why is it that the fact that Wales, a white nation, being conquered by other white people, is not considered some kind of weird racial fucking issue? Even though I would say that okay, let's be clear. The English are not Celts. They're Normans. All right? They're Normans. They're French. The Welsh are definitively Celtic. My people, quote unquote, were fucking conquered by the English, and yet nobody gives a shit. And I don't think they should give a shit, to be honest. But why is it that we're supposed to care about this stuff? So fucking dumb. Because history is what it is. It is what it is. Get fucking over it. You fucking losers. Just get over it. Let's continue this video.
I think the key point that Knowing Better is trying to make here...
The protector of the natives, as he would later be called.
Dude, you are unbelievably disingenuous and really, really not very, what's what I'm looking for?
Everyone's saying me about my bird bones. I'm not a bird.
Yeah,
I'm not a bird. I'm not a bird.
Yes, bird person.
I swear to God, I'm a human being. I'm not a bird.
Are you sure?
Advocated for the transatlantic
No.
slave trade.
Your
which then
rage is
started
flying all
under
over the place.
Nicholas de Ovando, not Columbus.
He's trying to say that Columbus was not the one that began the transatlantic slave trade, even
wasn't.
though people record him as being the first.
But
he wasn't. He was just the one who discovered it.
Oh my... Greg, what the fuck are you talking about? He was the first... Are you at it? How? How could you possibly make a mistake this
Dishonest is honest is what I was
Greg,
looking for. Why
Greg,
the fuck can I think of that
Greg,
word?
how could you make a mistake this insane? That Christopher Columbus
I'm pretty sure he
created the
is
slave
raised.
trade?
You're a bub.
I'm not a burb, but also...
Bub.
How?
Aiden's favorite song is Bird is the Word.
You know what my favorite song is? I can't play it.
I'm guessing your favorite song is something that would make me go, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's true, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not it. I can't... I'm just gonna play a couple seconds.
It's gonna be torture and it's gonna be people go, what the fuck is wrong with you, Aiden?
Where are we at in this video? Let me make sure I know.
Why don't you just play okay, why don't you just play it through your freaking
31.
speakers?
31. We're at
Why don't you just play it through
31.
screen sharing?
No. This. I
Just
can't
share your fucking screen.
kill me. This song's stuck in my head.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Pull that shit up, Jamie. Oh, to the old town road, I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I got the
Horses in the back. Horse bucket is attached. We're gonna get claimed. I don't give a fuck. The horse, ha! With your Porsche, ha! In the valley, you can't get out of that Porsche. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Can't you tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Psych! Even their tractor, you know that bladder. My baby. And ask her some movies. Some movies. Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Don't hurt me, Bill. Ain't nobody
Do it.
tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. Gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. Down, cross down, living like a rock star.
Spend a lot of money on my brand new guitar.
It's like 10 seconds.
Diamond rings and Fendi
Sports car.
Riding down Rodeo in my
Riding
Maserati
sports car.
Skipping
Through all that, my romance. I'm back. I'm back to the old town road. Gonna ride till I can't no more. That was the end of the fucking thing video. This is the end of the thing, though. You're fine.
You do realize...
I swear to Christ.
We're all fucked for me playing that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it just tanked. By the way, if this tanks your streaming and I can't do my fucking game,
No, we're gonna be fine.
I want to go shack up with Mola.
We're gonna
this particular stream is gonna get fucked for that, but I don't give a shit.
You're probably gonna fuck over your streaming for about a month.
Why does everyone not like that song? It's
Because
so
it's
good.
cringe and fucking gay.
It's such a good song.
No, it isn't. It's bullshit.
Garbage.
You are wrong. You're incorrect.
Imagine turning your entire career
Lil Nas
into...
X is a great song.
And he's a fucking asshole.
Fuck you,
Lil
don't
Nas
you
X.
stop that.
Ah, what's this? We were like,
Fuck
we're
you,
here.
I will. Fuck you, keep playing that.
We needed another.
I'm sorry.
I swear to God.
Stop touching my song, Aiden, or I'll kick your ass.
You want to play your song? Okay, go ahead.
I swear to God, if you fucking close it one more time, I will.
Shite. I haven't done shit. Oh my God, I haven't done anything. We're just fucking around. Sorry, guys. Can I move to where we were on this video?
Aiden, I swear to God.
I haven't done anything. What are you doing? Are you trying to play?
Stop fucking with my bloody song.
I'm not doing anything. I'm literally not doing anything other than fucking pausing.
Stop touching the damn thing.
Why don't we? I don't want to watch more of Greg's
Oh,
video.
fuck you. Fuck off.